by 15-20 minutes. You don't want to go late game against Storm Slark. That's okay. I can dig it.
They're a bit low on lockdown overall now, EG. Like, they have these defensive lockdowns, but as far as aggressive plays, they don't seem to be too to make the first move with these heroes.
Oh, yeah. A lot of this game is going to be on Abed, on the OD. They have very limited catch, as you said. They're going to need to ensure that they maintain tower. They don't really have any tower push themselves either.
All right, well, we heard it from the panel. I'm giving word right now that we're just about ready to jump into this one. We're going to hop to a quick break, and when we return, we're going to get this series started.
Prepare for battle.
Ladies and gentlemen, Evil Geniuses versus Invictus Gaming here to end the day, and a beautiful best of 3 I'm sure we're going to have ahead of us. I'm Only Pixel, joined by Fog for this one. Fog, we've seen the drafts. What are you excited to see? I'm seeing some sort of new heroes, right? Some Shadow Shaman out of the blue. I've not seen a hero in a while.
That's the first one I'm pointing at. The whole, I mean, it's Kaka though, right? Kaka, when he wants the hero, he picks it for himself. Especially like we've seen it a couple times throughout this tournament as well. He's picked himself some line games, which ended up working out. This is an interesting one. It allows him to play. I agree with like what Kyle was saying. Like, go for these towers, and you can make a lot of quick moves around the map, allowing your Slark and your Storm to just kind of pick and choose where they want to go, and the Shadow Shaman will be able to at least siege for them. While we look at EG sides, they don't really have great tower pushing. I guess like there's a weird way you can kind of say it is like sometimes these Timbers can act as a tower pusher because you cut the creep waves and stuff like that, but it's not the same. IG does have much better ways to do that. And EG, they'd go for a Razor as their last pick. Bit unorthodox.
Around this early start flight. To start the vision, they're going to start beating into Ollie here. Ollie's going to take quite a bit of damage between the two of them with that burn from crit, the right clicks from flight. Is it enough for first blood? It is! And he actually wastes a mango and a salve.
Ow. He's not going to have a mango for the laning phase now, maybe. He actually, they're going to get some bounty runes, so he'll get at least 1 or 2 mangoes when he goes back up there, but that's painful. Great move by EG, and looks like they're going to be running in pressure lane. They're going to be putting that Timbersaw bottom, hoping in a 1v1 versus that Omni Knight and the Razor just to shut down that Slark entirely. I like the setup by EG. Immediately we see lane swaps, though. Fly heading toward bottom as the Slark. We see JT heading toward top, not teleporting though. These heroes are saving their TPs. Same thing with the Lich. You see he's walking all the way back from base on Ollie, making sure that they can swap lanes if EG does do so.
And this mid lane matchup, you know, Emo Storm versus the Arbed OD. As I believe Sim was saying on the panel, you know, Emo, he's been winning a lot of lanes, especially on this hero. Is this going to be another matchup where the Storm should come out ahead?
Oh yeah, it's probably like a slightly OD favored matchup, but okay. Storm farms. The thing is that you can always force the wave in, you go jungle, and I mean, it's Emo. This is his favorite hero, it seems like, and he's been rocking it. But if anything, I'm not even too sure if it is even an OD favorite. It might even just be a straight 50-50 or just a skill-based matchup. This is one of those that really just becomes in the whoever's hands it's in.
We'll see what Kaka is able to do here down bottom, backing up Fly. There's going to be a lot of harass from the two heroes. Crit and Ramses will have good spam to throw out the two of them once they get that second level, which means that Fly will have to be just that little bit careful. But at the same time, if EG get too over aggressive, Kaka's going to have to lock down to allow Fly to turn and start punching down these tanky heroes in the safe lane.
You know what the scary thing I actually look at and is I'm going to point out is there's no way to stop the shackles in laning phase on their heroes. Nobody. So if he does get a good positioning where he can just grab somebody, like you're mentioning, that Slark is really going to build up the stacks and just be able to chase them out quite far. Wyvern, not going to be able to do anything about that.
I mean, even sort of down the road, you look at IG's cores, and obviously this Slark and Storm, two incredibly slippery heroes. Do you think EG are going to have enough grab in the mid game in those fights? Do you consider like the Treant and Wyvern ult good enough to deal with these two mobile cores?
They're gonna have to make it. They're gonna have to make those moves real clean. That's why they went for this draft, right? They went for these very elusive heroes because there is that limited amount of lockdown on EG. So we'll see if they can actually look to that. They might even itemize later on. We did see what the hex on the OD eventually will come on way later down, but that is one of the solutions that we did see, especially I guess yesterday it was.
And would you consider some sort of control in Arteezy's build? Like, is he going to buy an Atos on this Razor, or does he have to look sort of more to a bigger, later, hard carry build?
Not a fan of Atos Razor personally. I don't think it's a very Arteezy-esque kind of thing either. Okay. I think like the Yules sometimes can show its benefit. That still could be an option for him, but in this game, I don't think that he would go for anything like an Atos.
Up top, Kaka. Let's hear it. They have got the three of them. They're going to go with the shackles. See if Ramses is able to get out of this one. Doesn't have any points in the timber chain, of course, yet. And that means there is no escape for him. IG make the move, bringing the Slark and Shaman up to that top lane to follow Ramses and get that kill.
Constant lane swaps, that's probably what we're going to be seeing, like we were mentioning. They want to have Slark versus Timbersaw, they want to have Omni Knight. Even though it's not a great matchup versus Razor, that's just what you're going to have to accept to do. You're going to have to just sacrifice JT. Since your win condition is definitely Fly and Emo, yeah, you're okay with your Omni Knight getting shut down a little bit. He'll still get levels, so he just won't get any farm down bottom. And he's already got off to a good start getting level 3 right away.
Midnight. AG onto Emo. Getting slowed and surrounded, and he's going to go down. And Crit comes in to make sure that Arbed starts to get a bit of a lead in that lane. A lane that he was already starting to climb ahead in 20-6 against the 16 for 3, and that kill is certainly going to help keep Arbed in the stronger position in that matchup.
I like that move a lot from Crit. He's even going to go back and even start stacking some cats. Just a nice little transition move. When you hit 2 on Wyvern, you can set up kills in quite a lot of lanes with that double amount of slow. Kaka's going to seem to just follow him around, though. So he did seem to grab an invis room top. Ramses, nice chain across.
Yeah, a little harder to lock down now. He's got the point in the chain. Pretty much going to require Kaka to be around for them to have control after the pounce to kill the Timber at this point.
Yeah, I wonder if Ollie's actually going to go for like a level 4 point in Sinister Gaze just because of that. And it probably is the case as Fly.
This takes a lot of damage. Does have the pounce. He's ticking down a little bit. Crit. Is he? Ooh, Crit nearly finding the Slark, but Fly will get away. A salve is there ready for him. But I mean, Crit's aggression, we're seeing him. He's making all the plays right now. Exactly what EG need in this early game. He's keeping these lanes in a strong position and keeping IG on their toes. They've got to be ready and reading the movements of Crit because he's bloodthirsty.
Yep. Top Ramses getting gone on again. They can't actually get in range of the shackles. It was very close to him just getting grabbed again there. Runes coming out. Kaka versus Crit. He's going to hold Crit in place for a second, but Crit will be able to get that rune. Now, can they actually set up for a kill here? Do they have the burst? They do. Just at the last second there.
Yeah, it looked like they weren't going to, but I guess you can't underestimate how hard those right clicks of the Shaman do hurt. It's got good base damage and was enough to get that kill before the TP out was successful. But good attempt for Crit, and as you say, he gets the job done. Bounty rune is his.
And what is it? 2 for 2 it looked like? 2 for 2 bounty rune because of that. Emo now off to jungle. As we kind of expected, this is what he'll do versus an OD. He got ganked, so he'll just sit there. Got his level 6, and then he's going to be a bit safer. But he probably will just continue to jungle that lane to one of the supports.
Yeah, Kaka's coming towards the mid to try and get his XP towards that 6 as quickly as he can.
Yep, and we see JT. We mentioned how he wouldn't have a great time down bottom. He hasn't really gotten almost any last hits since we did mention that, but he's now just starting to cut some creep waves so he can ensure that he can get at least that experience. Yeah,
we've seen this situation before in the previous series. As an Omni, you don't want to turn up to the lane against the Razor, especially once Razor's had that sort of a start. You got to pull, you got to play away from him. There's nothing you can do in that matchup.
Ramsey's already hitting level 6 here. Fly is just going to get bullied now. 37 and 6 last hits as well. This is an excellent start here for EG.
Quite the XP difference. So just level 4 on Slark. It's a fair bit of time before Fly's going to hit that Shadow Dance and have the capability to to appear in the lane and back up and heal up. The pressure is certainly being put onto that Slark very early on by EG, and this tower, there's going to be no attempt from IG to hold onto it. They're going to let it go. 6 minutes in, it's poor old Slark, he's losing his safe lane.
Yeah, this is what we mentioned. It's like they don't really have the best tower pushers on EG, but this is what happens when you have Timbersaw early game. He's just going to be able to cut the creep wave and tank it up, ensure that you can get that one early. And now Fly, they're still really low level. So Ramses, I think he's just going to stick up here. He has a triple range creep behind him as well. They're going to have to address this, man.
Yeah, he's just going to push on.
Yeah, he
tries to step forward, but he's got to be so careful against these two with how powerful Ramses is. You see the net worth out of all 3 lanes. EG with their moves, they've kept themselves a step ahead of IG, and they've come out of these lanes in a very, very good position.
Yeah, now they can even throw living armor on this Timbersaw too, so even though he doesn't have the initial reactive stacks, he'll build them up quickly because of that. They have to make moves to stop this Ramses.
There's an extra TP coming in. Kaka's trying to off the lockdown. The Shackle's there as well. Is it enough to kill off the Timber? Pull back as well. The Sinister Gaze, they've got the new. Kaka gets the kill. As he's going to see if he can chase him for more. Splinter Blast does bring Fly low. Fly, he's got the backup of Emo. Zips him from the high ground. They get themselves a second. IG able to make the move and push EG finally off that top lane.
I'm actually surprised they were able to bring him down just between the 3 of them there. That was pretty surprising. A nice little rotation from Emo there too. That's the thing you do have to worry about though. It's like the Storm, you know he's jungling, so if you are pushing too far ahead in your advantage of that versus that tier 2 top, you will get rotated on.
Ramses is going to move over to the mid. Obviously going for that tier 2 and trying to push up was a little greedy. Obviously the clearer objectives are these tier 1s that do remain. Mid lane is going to be the juicy one that AG is going to have the pressure and focus around right now with Ramses pushing in, having Crit behind him if he does get in any sort of trouble.
Yeah, I mean he must have been feeling himself. Like I was thinking the same thing. I was like, he's got this huge creep advantage coming in. He wants to go try to pressure that tier 2 top, but maybe just underestimating a little bit of that burst damage that can come out from a Shadow Shaman and a Lich.
And just playing the passive farm game for Emo and Fly. These 2 cores not nearly ready to have an impact unless we see once again EG go a little too deep, a little too far alone.
He actually gets one of my favorite items actually for a Storm Spirit. He gets the Mango Tree. Really nice for you to just sit in the jungle and farm even more. So we'll probably be seeing them constantly set up and grab extra mangoes, especially for Emo. And he puts him in a very defensive position so they can ensure that he does keep it alive for a very long time. And yeah, like you said, Ramses just really wants to stick it, take out that tower so they can get those access points into the enemy jungle versus a Storm and a Slark who are catching up. They have to do these catch-up methods for IG.
I mean, they're trying to catch up, but you are going to see EG remain at this lead because with the way that the game has started, EG can afford to have their 3 cores in the 3 lanes, whereas IG, a lot of sort of Fly and Storm time being spent in the jungle. Now Emo reveals himself mid, he's going to go for it. The Cold Embrace is healing Ramses up. IG, do they have any further control to kill him? They're going to look to go for the easier target. Go for Crit, find a roll, then and he just walks it out of nowhere, drops the sanities, gets the kills, and saves Crit.
And he was just jungling. And he actually stopped it. I love this about like Abed sometimes. And a lot of mid players, they're very aggressive, but he actually was jungling right next to his team. And look, he stops finishing. Like a lot of players would just finish the camp, but no, he actually makes the move over, saves Crit, and gets these kills because he makes that decision.
Perfect move from Abed. Crit, he was about to die that last hit, the Astral, and then bam, Abed. I mean, you said it. His movement could not have been any better there.
Now, if he hesitates at all, if he finishes that camp, Crit dies, and they might just back up and get those kills.
He doesn't get the kills then.
And the creeps are still low, so you know some players they would have been very greedy to make sure that they could farm that camp.
And Abed's game, I mean, already you see the net worth he's at. He's nearly 2k ahead of any of the cores of IG. Down bottom, they're going to make an attempt onto Arteezy. They have to hex, but again, Crit in position with the Cold Embrace. Extra TP's coming in from EG. IG, they can't get a kill in time. And Emo, he's committed all of his mana for this, so he has no escape. Ramses cuts him down. Kaka and JT will be forced back as they timber chain forward. Ramses still wanting to go in. He knows how strong he is right now as IG. They've just got to run, but Ollie can't escape. It's a double kill for Ramses. Fly's trying to stay on top of Kaka. They're going to keep chasing this one for sure. JT can offer some sort of hill. He comes too close to the Splinter Blast, bounces back across to Kaka. The slow for the growth, the curse as well. Crit setting up to get in another blast. Crit gets the kill. As EG, they know that they've got this lead and they're pushing their advantage to perfection.
They're crushing this early game. Their rotations are absolutely on point. I mean, Crit seems to be everywhere. He shows up every single time, right at the right time to get a Cold Embrace to save and turn a fight that looks like it could be going for IG. This is just, I mean, perfect so far. This first 12 minutes couldn't be going better for EG. 5k gold lead, all 3 tier 1s going to be taken down versus a Slark and a Storm Spirit. These 2 heroes, they want to go back to jungle, but that's going to get a lot harder with EG being able to just invade, get some deep aggressive wards down.
And the catch and setup's going to be even better. It is, as you mentioned, RTZ going for that Yule's build-up on his Razor. And especially when you get such a quick Yule's, there's just going to be very little counterplays for IG. There's so much catching. As soon as you lose one hero in a team fight, as we saw there, IG, you've just got to get out. You cannot afford to try and fight because EG is going to be able to pick you off one by one.
Yeah, I really like the Yule's this game just because, like, we look at their lineup and we mentioned it. The limited lockdown is there. This isn't like a stun or anything like that, but someone can't just TP right in front of you then. And also you don't have to worry about like Shadow Shaman shackling someone next to you. You're going to have multiple ways of even being able to disrupt that and set up. And it's a natural build-up for Razor a lot of the times too. That's going to be a lot of just recovery method for IG to try to fix and salvage this disastrous early game. And they're not able to really set up and go for any towers, but out top, Abed actually using aggressive Astral. They're trying to set up on it, but he gets the force staff off.
They've got the lockdown. There's TPs coming in though. They have nowhere near enough damage to kill off Abed, even with the wards dropped. They're just going to farm them up. As you got to remember, that's a lot of money that does get given up to EG.
And that's also, it's not just money, it's now Rasta, now Shadow Shaman can't actually start to push a tower. That's pretty huge, a wasted first wards.
They're looking to make it go on to Ramsey, but they just can't really do it. Living Armor's there. This is not a target you're going to be able to kill with the hood, the headdress. He has so much regen and resistance. There's just nowhere near enough damage on IG's heroes to deal with this Timur at this point.
No. This is, I mean, everything is going the right way for EG, and we're already seeing them start to queue up those items we mentioned. The Hex is already queued up for OD.
And JT,
farming JT.
He cannot escape this.
Nope.
He cannot TP. He cannot hide. EG just owning the map. And IG, they need time that I don't think EG's going to give them. Their Storm and Slug are not ready to get involved.
And again, look at this, an instant smoke there. I mean, no hesitation. They didn't have to like burn anything in order to go for that kill. They still have all of their ultimates available. And he's a level 13 OD at this point in the game. He can really, I mean, 1600 mana, level 2 ulti. Couple hits, get that counter up. He can easily look to blow up pretty much any of the heroes on the side of IG. As Ramsey's just going to continue pushing, keep pressing forward that advantage. They have this early drafted early game heroes, so they want to just press their advantage and push forward. Do not let Slark and Storm farm up. Do not let them actually abuse the Heavenly Grace Slark that will eventually get very powerful. Just end the game before that.
I mean, they know that they do not have to worry about the Slark doing anything until Flyfly has his defusal.
Yeah.
He has to have at least that done, otherwise he poses no threat whatsoever in the fights. Emo is going to show mid, going for the courier. Oh, not Mio to zip far enough to get it. Still, they're going to push him back and away from this mid lane, and now on the top, Flyfly will have the Shadow Dance TP, and there's no counterplay to that, so Flyfly does manage to get out of there. They cannot afford to lose this Slark or Storm. They had to play so safely if IG want a chance to swing in this game back round.
Yep. Look where Emo's farming. He's farming on the opposing side. He got kind of forced over here, but this kind of says the state of the game. They have no intention, and they can't have an intention of fighting for quite a long time. They're so shut down on their cores. Their support's kind of same thing. It's a Lich and a Shadow Shaman versus such tanky heroes. And they already have a pipe finished up on Ramses.
They're going to go for this. He's pretty low on the mana, so a few hits during the overgrowth. He's going to go for the portamation. Abed can't instantly drop down the ult, and it's a danger. Ramses not easy at all.
But he saw them.
Apparently he didn't see them. I mean, straight into the two of them. Oh no! Crit. I mean, they'll get him. I mean, will they? He's got Cold Embrace and a stick charge. TP's coming in. Ahmed's still got the ult ready to go. He pops it down. Flyfly Kaka have to back away. Cripple him. Flyfly finally does still get the kill, but it costs him his life. It's a double kill for Abed. IG can just not catch a break.
No, EG's just going to go high ground here. With this pipe on this Hammer Saw, they're going to spam out the Chain Frost. It's going to slow them down a little bit here. Easy. Going to beat it a little bit longer. But IG, how do you stop this? It doesn't feel like they have a great solution to be able to. They spot out an Arcane Rune bottom for Emo. Maybe he can work some type of magic with this, but they're really going to need something miraculous to bring them back in this game. As EG, they're just not going to slow down with this type of draft they have. With a Razor with an OD draft, they're going to just keep pushing forward.
That's a big zip down bottom. He's still got some mana to play with, but EG, they're going to be on top of him. He's got to get out. Zip straight up the lane. They will back off. EG can now move down here, start to work on another tier 2 tower, and as we've seen already, IG, they're not going to be able to fight around this. They've got to let these tier 2 towers go.
I mean, this Timbersaw is just such a problem. Look at this, 50 HP per second. He can even get living armored. He has Cold Embrace behind him. IG definitely in a very rough spot as all of EG's towers are just also getting healed up too, so there was a little bit of damage that IG was able to get on them, but tier 1's all full healed and they're taking tier 2s.
And there's the classic sign that things have gone horribly wrong. JT, he's queuing up a Midas.
Oh no, an item that we do not see. Not even on Arc Warden. This item is dead. You can tell that they're feeling like this one is pretty out of hand right now as EG continue to knock on the front door. They at least have they have the Frost Armor from the Lich to slow it down, that Frost Shield, but EG just has so much claimed on the map. And they just want to look to make aggressive moves. They see Emo. They want to try to go on him here in the mid lane.
Can they get the jump lead? It's very hard. They're going to lead in. They do have the overgrowth. Do they have the damage to kill him off through it? He's going to be able to juke it out. Nice dodge from Emo.
It's actually really nice how he zips the direction that he's facing. Because if he actually turns to zip backwards, he would get caught inside of that overgrowth. Very nice play by the Storm, but either way, you still feel it. EG just constantly looking it to make these moves. And Emo's just trying his best to control some runes. But he's got to be very careful. One misstep and he could die.
What else have they got? They haven't got a Sanities. He's still got mana. They have the Yours. He's still got 500 mana to play with, so we'll zip himself away from Arbed, and with the TP, Emo is fine. Despite the lead of EG, still definitely seeing the lack of lockdown in place there. They can't reliably kill the Storm, but obviously they can push in the lanes and force him to react to them rather than having to chase him blindly around the map.
Opportunity for top, maybe. Kaka, he's tempted. Still hiding inside of the tree there. He's not going to actually drop the wards. Doesn't even want to try to.
Flyfly wants to go for Arteezy here. Arteezy with the defensive duels. Make sure the Flyfly cannot commit. Flyfly is able to back off, break the link. He's still sort of moving towards them, but it is only him and Ollie, so not really a lot that they can do alone. They need another item in it. They're going to try and make a move. They're smoking up the three of them, IG. See if they can catch EG off whilst they're slightly separated. Arbed is top. They'll find Crit. Hex into the nuke damage. Crit's gone. Can IG get something else out of this? They're chasing towards Artur. Arteezy just a little too speedy. Slark cannot close the gap, but IG can get over, take some farm away from EG's half of the map.
Like how they make that aggressive move. They get that deep ward up top side near the tier 1 tower, and that actually gives them the information. They saw a couple of EG's heroes running toward that tower to respond, and that's when they just instantly smoke and try to get out to be able to just get themselves some type of space on the map, because their map has been super limited. They have to take these risky type of smokes, and they will be able to set up here on this tier 1, but EG, they've got people that come and fly. He got spotted.
He is, and he's going to get zipped on Emo. He's caught him. Fly will pay for revealing himself on this bottom lane. IG get the kill, and with that should easily get the tier 1. They're losing a tier 2 for it, though.
That was some big brains positioning, though, by Flyfly. He knew that this tree protector was going to come along the tree line to look for that. That was a really nice heads-up play there. But it's a tier 2 for a tier 1, and we do see Kaka. Kaka actually found himself an ancient stack, it seems, and he's just trying to be efficient. He's just trying to use those wards on cooldown, get as much gold as he can.
Desperate.
Sure.
Yeah, desperate times certainly calls for desperate measures, and between the Serpent Ward ancient farming and the Midas Omni, they're certainly going for that IG.
Yeah, they're starting to trickle down. They know that their draft, if they make it to late game and they aren't just like 30,000 or some ridiculous amount of gold, I mean 30,000 maybe excessive, but like 15,000 or something behind, if it's a relatively even game and they make it to later stages, their draft is very strong versus what EG has. But EG, they're not going to look to let it get to that point.
No, and it's just some of these timings will be ridiculous this game. Arbed,
it's going to have Hex.
He's getting so close to having the Hex, and we're only 21 minutes into the game. That's Roche. No contest whatsoever from IG. Doesn't even matter if they know that it's going on. They know that they cannot fight around the Roche pit with the lead that EG have. And as Roshan will be theirs. Arbed grabs the Aegis, and just about 800 gold to go for his Hex to be complete.
IG did get some deep wards while they were making this pressure. We actually see Ollie still in the enemy jungle, trying to see if he can give some information for his team to look for some jumps. If they do see heroes too far away from others in the side lanes, they could look. And speaking of that,
Mo, he's going on our tour.
he's got a BKB on the Razor, though. That's a pretty tough one to go for.
And maybe just seeing if he could get away with poking it out of it. It won't be the case. Arteezy keeps his cool, knows that he's not under too much threat from those three heroes.
Wait for that Hex, probably the next timing for EG before they group up and look for a play, because they do have BKB, they have Hex, going to be done pretty much at any moment now, and that's going to be a big timing for them. Storm, this game's going to get a lot more difficult, but they do at least have on IG that Heavenly Grace always behind. So there's going to be a way not only just to dispel, but also to make that Hex a lot shorter duration if he is Heavenly Grace before it does go out. And Emo's catching up. He does have a Bloodstone finished up, same thing for the Slark, Fly. He's going straight for that BKB after the refusal, so they're also getting some timings, but man, that is such an early Hex, and there it is.
There's the reveal. Waits out the Dart pack, so there's no chance of purging that off. Arbed just slides in and makes quick work of Fly. And this is going to be the recurring situation. Anytime Arbed catches you alone, he will solo kill pretty much any hero in the game right now. And especially if he needs to use the sanities, that alone with a few hits, that will take anybody off the map if JT's not behind to offer some sort of safety.
EG pushing up. This is a very easy sustained push for them as Ramsey just stands there with a pipe, 60 HP per second.
I mean, what can they do to slow this? Emo, it's going to try and commit, goes in with the zip in straight away onto Arbed. The Serpent's drop down as well. The turn, the Yours Hex, a bit of an overcommitment there, throwing the two of them. Didn't matter either way. Heavenly Grace was upon him, so wouldn't have had the disable to kill him off.
Yeah, he's playing that like very risky kind of play where he's confident because of that Heavenly Grace, but the tower and Rex are falling very quickly as he gave 140 some static link damage to Arteezy during that.
Fly tries to step in, steal some of the mana of Ramses, but anytime he goes forward, Arbed will be quick to build charges off him, just turning him and hitting him with the orb. As the range racks are gone, the melee racks slowly, surely falling. There's nothing that IG can do to push EG off this racks. As EG, they can just continue to resume business with this lead and large advantage they have here 24 minutes in.
Yeah, don't back up. Just keep pushing forward. You don't have to worry about any of your side lanes because of how well you've done. Get some wards down here. Looks like they're going to actually go for the Shrine first. So no TPs around behind them. And we saw their positioning. The way that they're pushing is you have the three in the front, you have Ramsey just tanking towers so he gets the stacks, and then the two supports on complete opposite sides, making sure that they can't actually get jumped by the Storm or the Slark. Actually needs a lot more time in order to be able to take these fights versus EG at this moment. But EG, they're not going to give it to them. Arteezy already knocking on the tower.
Just showing himself on the front to see if there's going to be any commitment by Emo. You have Arbed ready with the counterplay, so Emo can no longer really zip in and play aggressive unless he's disabling Arbed's OD. Hex will come out each and every time. Ramsey standing deep under the tower, making sure that he's tanking all the hits up. They've got this easy push off the back of his sustain that he offers Emo. He's going to try for the zip and instantly gets Hex. Jump forward, the overgrowth. GA is there. Emo is falling low. Pop the Bloodstone heal. Arbed heads over. Doesn't want to drop the sanities next. Knows it won't do too much against the Storm with the amount of mana he has. They'll kill off Kaka. Fly posts the Shadow Dance, looks towards Arteezy, but they just cannot kill off any of EG's heroes. They're too strong right now. They'll use the fortification, but this tier 3 will shortly fall. Emo zips in, looks to get on top of Arbed. He's healed up by the Cold Embrace. Arbed gets tracked in. Can they kill off this OD? They can. They kill him the once. The Aegis is gone. Serpent's down as well, breaking up the fight. Can they go on Arbed a second time? That's the question. He's back up to full HP. Ramsey steps back in, finishes off the tower. IG have to keep their distance.
I think they can be careful here now, just in case, just because they saw how much Emo actually can do in damage. They're going to give him a little bit of respect and back off. 12k gold lead, don't need to take too many risky type of plays here when you do already have that Rax taken in the mid lane and you got the tower. Go pick up your, spend your gold in particular. Bring out those items, but they can still look to stay aggressive on this side of the map. They don't need to back up all the way to their side. Stay on the IG side. Limit them that farm. Wait for maybe the next wave to come in and when you are full healed up. And now they are full healed, so they will probably look to continue push top now.
Yeah, with the full, well, 2 halberds now on the side. 2 halberds and the Hex. They've got a lot of ways to stop both Emo and Fly doing anything in the fights.
How do you focus the target?
As there we have, one disarm into the Hex. Fly's in trouble. He popped the BKB in the Shadow Dance. They do manage to hold back the OD for now. Fly still staying alive. He's low on mana.
It's 220 damage for Artesian right now.
The Frost Shield saving one of the racks at least, but EG just turned their attention towards the other. Emo zips in, looking for the control on Arteezy, the living armor, healing Arteezy back up. As EG just remain pretty unfazed by this attempt from IG, they're going on the side. Hex is there, the Shaman is overgrowth, the kill off, there's no BKB, there's no Shadow Dance for Fly as the Slark will fall. Still holding on to that sanity. Ahmed has not needed to use it yet. Just the right clicks alone have been enough. Even though going in, there's the cut, the crack, the bottom. He's building up the mana. Ahmed, he's ready to draw. Base comes in. GG is called. It's absolutely over. EG take this game 1, and it looks to be a walk in the park for them.
You can feel that one. He's just building up the stacks and waiting for the moment, and just drops the hammer. Beautifully executed by EG from start to finish.
It really couldn't have been any better by them. We've seen EG have some shaky games. This was not one of them. The draft, I guess it was excellent. They played it so well. The movements at the start, as you said, looking at the lanes, making sure they had the lead. Crit's movements, knowing exactly what he has to do to ensure that these carries on IG side, you have Fly and Emo, they just don't have a game to play. The Storm and Slark were shut down so early on.
Evil geniuses turn to ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Evil geniuses turn to ban. Seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Evil geniuses turn to ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team back. Evil geniuses turn to pick. Radiant team pick.
You lost with it because I don't want to see them give EG Lich Doom unless they have a very clear plan against this pairing in their first two. And there just doesn't seem to be many solutions for that in Dota right now, in my opinion. Just extremely powerful, flexible laning.
In the words of Cinderin, a great man, there's nothing so broken in Dota that there is not a solution. Sometimes you just have to pick your poison. So what do you think possible solutions could be?
I mean, you can definitely solve Lich Doom later. There is a solution to everything, but it can be really difficult to find it, especially given the time limitation. I think solving Lich Doom largely comes down to either having really powerful magical burst, something that IG have a good amount of so far with Centaur Rubik. That's a possible way of doing it. Also the Stampede for disengaging from Doom. I think those are the two key things. Either you blast them or you outrun them and survive through Doom, basically. And Centaur kind of does both, so I like this approach as an opener for IG. Centaur, however, does leave some room for exploitation in the laning stage. There are some matchups that Centaur does not fare well in, such as Timbersaw or Razor, both of which we just saw. Lifestealer does fine against it too.
Yeah, you gave it to him. Yeah. Kind of obvious. I will say I like the Centaur a lot more in this game because we talk about Emo being a very aggressive player. JT is very similar in that regard, and you gave an Omni last game, and you cannot play aggressive with that hero. So I think already giving him something like a Centaur, he can make plays. You cannot make plays on an Omni. You're a reactionary hero.
Yep. He played Sand King earlier today, had an awesome game. I 100% agree. I think all of JT's outstanding performances have been
on the playmaker.
On playmakers with stuns, right? Like, catch, he loves going in first for his team. He has a very good eye for when it's the time to jump. So great pick for him with the Centaur, obviously.
Kyle, how are you feeling about this draft so far?
I'd say it's certainly, I mean, you look at EG's opener, it definitely has a higher power level, but you've got to expect IG knew the Lich was coming, so I could see them. I really like Chen against what EG's got so far. I think that if you can take towers early, there really isn't much heroes like Lich and Doom can do at early levels, and Rubik is a great pairing to dual rotate around, especially with a hero like Centaur in the offlane.
And Ollie definitely plays it, so.
The other option is that you could maybe pick a core that doesn't mind being doomed so much. I think Centaur is one of the decent ones in that regard. Like if you've got your Stampede off,
you've done your job.
If you get doomed after casting Stampede as Centaur, I think you're pretty happy most of the time.
It's like we saw earlier today, right? They just kept dooming the Drow. The Drow didn't really care.
Okay. Obviously, some heroes that IG like to play are not very happy with getting doomed, such as the Storm Spirit. But at the same time, a very well-played Storm can kind of play around it a lot of the time. I mean, maybe that's also one of the reasons Doom is so strong. We've been talking a couple of reasons why we think Doom is an incredible hero right now, and I think to top it all off, some of the classic heroes that don't like getting doomed just aren't in favor right now. Wraith King, Death Prophet, Razor, one of the ones that gets picked sometimes at least, but the other two that were classically used because of their ability to deal with being doomed just see absolutely no play at all.
It's just never a bad pick, especially with the way you scale. 200 bonus gold every 70 seconds, 350 with the talent.
It's good.
You have a farming mechanic, you have regen in lane, you're a strength hero. It's kind of just on brand in terms of how this meta is typically played. They banned the Life Stealer. I like that from IG. I'd be terrified of that hero third pick from EG in this spot.
Anything else you're terrified of right now, Kyle?
You continue to unbutton that shirt.
You think the Chen still, after all this?
Huh?
Do you like the Chen still?
I'd be okay with it, yeah. I think you ban out Timber, Lifestealer, two heroes that EG could have played against you. You got options. This is where the big spot as second pick, where you kind of have to lock yourself into something on the turn.
They do. They lock it in. Bane. Okay. Do they? It's one of the few heroes that can try to trade with the Lich or just dominates his own lane, right? That's why you pick him. We saw him earlier on Beast Coast, I believe. Stinger had an okay game. They lost, but
I like Bane against Doom. I think it's actually a pretty decent matchup. A lot of the time, Doom wants to run in, start off the fight, find a target, and then Doom. You have two long duration disables that are single target. If a guy gets doomed into some sort of combo, you still have a nightmare play potentially to delay their play, and then you can stampede out with their lineup.
I'm just afraid whenever I see a second pick lineup and they already revealed their 3-4-5 and there's a lot of holes remaining in the draft, you need these two cores to do effectively everything. They've got to be scaling for you. You'd love something that could hunt. They'd preferably be frontliners because your support duo is so squishy, and you're in a position where EG will be able to have two counters to whatever core you're looking to reveal. They get another very popular meta pick in the puck, just kind of removes Centaur's ultimate from the game to go off of what you were saying, Sin. You can't run away from Doom if he just coils your team.
Yeah. It's one of these interesting situations where you look at this hero and you can look at the negatives or you can look at the positives, right? There's stuff that counters puck here. There's a grip, there's the lift, you have... Yeah, basically those two things. Basically, the lift is an instant stun when puck blinks in, and the Bane, if you catch grip from a tree line, you generally die on puck. But sometimes it's good to pick a hero that the enemy has counters for if the overwhelming synergy it has with your own lineup overpowers it. And I can see puck being good here, but there is some weakness to it. It's not just a flawless pick.
Are IG asking to get Nagad here because they're incredibly weak against some kind of illusion core? PL's out of the pool.
I've never seen, Kyle, it's been a year, I've never seen you viscerally react so much to a draft as the last two picks for IG. What do you think they're trying to go for?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Finally a draft that could actually shut up Kyle. Grant, what do you think of it so far?
I don't know.
Let's hope IG goes further.
Centaur, Rubik. I mean, they're always going to be strong lane. I think you look back to the last game, right? You lost all three lanes. Just opening up the Centaur, Rubik, you've already won lane. Bane is one of the lane dominators. The Arc Warden, I actually probably think they picked this. It's decent for him, but they picked it to deny the fourth pick Arc Warden. If you go back and look at all of Bulba's drafts, even his pub games, Arteezy's pub games, this is when they generally pick it. and they love just throwing it middle. Even with Abed, you can do that. I think it was a denied pick, and I don't think it's terrible.
How do you feel about that, Kyle? Do you think that
I can get that. I'm just afraid of EG buying BKBs and just running at IG.
That's the problem.
You look at the damage output in a team fight. The 3 heroes of EG are going to out DPS IG's 4 until 30 minutes plus. Your team fight's better. You're more durable.
I think it is just all laning.
Is this an awesome Lycan game?
Is any?
It would be some sort of illusion minion core that can play with fast pace, but I really like the Abaddon here. That makes it most likely a crit Doom or a crit Puck and a carry Abaddon or Doom.
I'm thinking Arteezy Doom looking at this.
I love
but
that.
But it depends on the mid matchup, right?
Yeah.
How good, I don't know, obviously we're not all mid players. Puck versus Arc, how does that go?
From earlier today, I think Arc Warden's certainly favored, especially the way Emo plays it, because you just flux them and spam Spark Wraith. Puck just eventually just can't trade with you. But I like this idea from EG, because you look at the weakness of IG's lineup, it's that they can't get ran at. So EG just say, all right, well, we're going to pick these 2 incredibly fast-paced, tanky strength cores. We're going to put 1 in each lane, and at some point, we're just going to start beating on towers.
It's kind of the same again with this Abaddoness with the Puck pick, right? Like, you're picking Abaddon into Rubik, which is considered a good matchup for Rubik. You can steal Aphotic Shield. But, again, do the pros outweigh the cons? You protect your Doom. You have a counter now to Grip. That's very reliable.
Yeah,
and the reason I like Lycan is one weakness I see for IG's lineup is, yes, you can try to disengage with Stampede, but now that you've got that covered with Coil, your lineup is extremely susceptible to people just flat out just running at you with stuff, right? Lycan, using his Necro book as well as his ulti, hate playing against that as Bane. It's an unplayable matchup. You just get all summons on you and you die. You have single target only.
Is he too out of the meta? Do you think they're even thinking about it? Right? I mean, we are, but we have not seen a Lycan yet. I agree, it's good.
You were mentioning it even back in Bukavel. You've been talking about this hero a little bit. Do you think that this might be the time that we finally see it come out?
I mean, I would love to see it. It's Arteezy. It's one of his trademark heroes.
It's not Arteezy's hero. They're going to pick a mid. You can just go for something easy like a TA and just win the game. I think you're trying to overcomplicate things a little bit. You've already got the better draft. You don't got to get cute with it.
I don't feel like it's cute. I just think it's really good. Like, when I look at this, I think it fits really well. But the thing is, okay, let's say they identify this as a good Lycan game. If they don't pick it for Arteezy, they feel like the hero's dead, right? Like, it's
absolutely. I agree with
this guy loves this hero. He plays it very well. They haven't touched it for a long time. Probably an indication they think it's just not a good Lycan patch. I just wonder why. Like, when I see Lycan played, he most of the time looks pretty good.
Kyle's about to lose it if you say that word one more time.
Lycan?
Well, Kyle, if they pick it right here, I mean, you have
I'll walk off the panel.
Deal.
Right. I will give Finn veto power.
What should they pick?
I think you just keep it simple.
So who would you? So you're saying you pick a mid. Who's playing carry? Well, what did you want mid, and what should Arteezy have played then? Carry, Abaddon, or Doom?
Doom, yeah.
Okay. Because I don't know.
Oh my god, I saw EG as just like being able to run over this game, and they just say, nope, we're gonna
a bit here.
Invest in the late game.
I still think they can, right? Your first 4 heroes are still much stronger than IG's first 4 heroes in like this team fight capacity while Arteezy's farming. You don't think?
Yeah, but now you run the risk of facing a 5th one that can swing the balance, and your Anti-Mage can't join. Anti-Mage doesn't really have that amazing Mana Void target in this game so he needs items to really have team fight impact. You can't show up Mana Void as one and win the fight, right? So you need time, and
I will say this hero definitely got buffed a little with tier 2 items and stuff. Like Imclaw, that's one of the few, like, he loves that.
Wait, is this then, this is a Puck or a Doom mid, right? There's no other option.
Absolutely a Puck.
It's going to be a crit Doom.
It's support, okay.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you opened up a little bit here that you didn't need to. Now, IG can choose a counter pick to this Anti-Mage in their safe lane matchup, and if they feel confident that they can go down the stretch down to like 30 minutes, both Arc Warden and that other carry can come online. So I don't really like this Anti-Mage pick.
You know what I think they should have gone with, Sin?
TA? Lycan? I think so too, Kyle. You never would have guessed, but I would have loved it. I'll see it eventually.
Thank God we have a last pick. Whoa!
It's spooky skeleton. Wow.
Didn't this hero get like picked a ton at the minor? And this is the very first pick at this tournament, I believe.
This is really difficult for IG to execute. They're going to need to take total map control and keep these supports alive and always stay on the aggressive here to win the game. Oh man, this is why.
Pretty good Orchid game.
Indeed, it's just.
So you think IG's draft's pretty difficult to execute here?
Definitely. And if EG finds even footing by the mid game, I think they'll swing through.
Do you think EG can still go for a relatively quick game, use AM as an insurance policy, or do you think that they do need to wait until the mid or late game?
I have no clue.
Kyle has absolutely no clue. We're going to give him a few seconds to get those brain cells working, and when we return, we're going to get straight into the game.
Prepare for battle.
Thank you.
Game 2 now of Evil Geniuses versus IG and Fog. We're having some interesting picks again. The final picks from both sides. Anti-Mage coming in for EG and IG responding with a Clinks. What do we think about this hero? This hero, I've seen this hero look pretty weak. It doesn't hit very hard.
Where did he go? He also disappeared, right? Like they said, he was all over his moves, but he was all over the minor. But he did really start to just fall off. But I mean, I think with this, what they're trying to do is just set the tempo. They look and they're like, all right, now we can actually look to fight because they saw this AM last pick and they're like, all right, what's an active hero that can look to run around the map, put pressure on? Clinks can work if it's one of the heroes that they're comfortable with.
I'm so interested to see how it works because I feel like for Fly, imagine like if he gets like the Frost Mage, he gets that armor, he's going to be hard to go on. You're going to be having a Lich backing up people, offering up Frost Shields, he's going to be hard to go on, and then you're going to have an Abaddon throwing out Aphotic Shields. It's going to be very hard for this Clinks to find kills in the mid game, I feel.
Yeah, but I mean, I have to agree. It's definitely a hero that can be susceptible to when you just get a little bit tankier and then your damage just kind of you just fall off. You have to get a lot done. Death Pact, you really have to, in my opinion, get like a lot of kills with this ability so you can get that damage built up so you can actually be that, get that force to run around and actually kill people by yourself because it does give you like that armor reduction and all that, but your hero, like you said, you sometimes just start hitting like nothing, and if heroes can start to collapse on you, you are very weak. And AM, if it gets to later stages of the game, this hero is going to be the strongest hero on the map. Yeah. And he also can get on top of Arcward. And that's why I think they did want to go for this hero. Just get right on top of him into the bubble, not worry about it if he does ever get some farm. So if they can just keep themselves composed on the side of EG, not fall apart after the laning phase or in that mid game, that AM will be very strong. It's great.
That'll do it. First blood for IG there. A little bit of a body block from Fly and the drag back from Kaka. That'll do. All right. The first blood setting up this bottom lane for a good bit of a start. We are going to see EG start with RTZ down here, farming on the offensive against the tri lane.
This is not an easy lane to farm against. That's a triple range tri lane with a Bane, one of the strongest laners in the game. And you have an anti-mage and a Doom, which isn't really a hero that doesn't really contribute too much in the laning phase until you start getting a creep or you get level 2 speed, or if you get like an Alpha Wolf, something like that, or that Ice Armor as you suggested. You're just getting zoned out.
What you do if you're EG? You are going to be in this position where you just cannot approach the creeps.
Yeah, that's concerning. They're going to actually go get aggroed by creep, of course, since it's not that first wave, but yeah, you just got completely pushed out at the start there.
I mean, Fly's already had to sort of step away from the wave here. Happily trade with Kaka. Obviously, Kaka having to take that lift as level 1 is a little less scary, no potential with the Fade Bolt to make sure that he can come out on top of those trades.
Crit's found it. I watched him running around through the jungle. He couldn't find it in his jungle, but he did find that ice armor. So maybe this will be the difference maker versus that triple ranged.
I think it will.
I mean, that'll be pretty ridiculous if just an ice, you know, the ice armor itself will allow RTZ to farm versus these 3 ranged heroes. I think it still might be a little bit tough because they do. It's not only just 3 ranged heroes. It's also him getting hurt a lot by Clinks.
Oh, Kaka. He's close to finding that one here. Fly will be able to salve up, and he's just out of range, so Kaka will not be able to cancel it. Oh, I say he won't. Oh, he won't up. He'll miss. Fly's able to keep the salve going. Gets full use of it. Kaka will just continue to chase. I mean, they can turn. Look to maybe try and, well, at least push Kaka away, but still, RTZ struggling to really get a look at the wave. Fly is able to hold this wave in a very optimal position for him, farming nice and safely close to his tower.
Yeah, what I meant to say before was that the Death Pact gives the minus armor. Sorry, I totally tripped over my words, but yeah, the minus armor with the triple ranged will be pretty nice to at least slightly counteract that ice armor that does come out. But we look at the lane start already. Pretty damn good start for IG because of how they have set it up, but mid, it's a heated one, and EG is pulling ahead of that one with Abed.
Is that expected, you feel, against an Outwarden in the 1v1?
I think you have just like better base damage as Puck. You also have a spell that allows you to last it, and you don't have to worry about these spark rates. You have phase shift. You walk in this spark rate, use phase shift to dodge it, and it's kind of just gone. And then you can make sure to tank it to make sure he doesn't get the range creep is the biggest thing. You eat it so that he doesn't get that last hit.
No, they've got the wave back in a place where RTZ will be able to hit on. Crit's on a cliff. Crit is on a cliff. He's going to TP down immediately, and in fact, RTZ's getting aggressive onto Fly, doing a fair bit of damage and coming out on top of the trades. Top lane, Ramses gets a shield off and a salve, as JT nearly able to just nuke down the Abaddon straight up.
I like this matchup for the Centaur quite a bit here. Abaddon usually able to just like trade these right clicks to zone somebody out because you get that stack built up on your Curse of Avernus, but versus Centaur, trading hits is usually not a good option as he just turns on that Retaliate and will be able to just beat you down. And he has a stun, so whenever you're playing in the lane as a melee hero versus Centaur too, it's just you're going to get stunned up and you're going to get hit by those extra right clicks. So JT should have a very good time up top, but Ramses will, of course, even himself out, as it still will be hard to just go under a tower and pressure an Abaddon.
I mean, looking at that bottom lane now, the EG have really been able to secure it back in their favor. Now, out of the 2 of them, RTZ's farming better than Fly.
Ice armor. It's like you don't even want to trade hits with him sometimes. I saw Fly kind of going back and forth because if he hits RTZ, he actually goes down to like 240 move speed, then they get a nuke on him, and he's pretty much not moving anymore on the Clinks. Now, this is ice armor. Really paying dividends. So again, JT.
I mean, you're right, it's easy. You can just step forward every time now that they've got the levels.
Yep. And they've got a lot of extra regen, too. Fly has brought himself a lot down there. Looks like Crit is setting up on the mid, maybe trying to catch Emo off guard here.
TP's going to be coming in already, just in case there was that dive to be in place. Kaka makes sure that Crit cannot dive. Does mean that Fly's going to be a little more vulnerable. Just the 2 of them left now on this bottom.
Sorry, he actually goes down to 208 movement speed just when he hits RTZ. So then he gets nuked after he's pretty much 100 movement speed hero. Yeah, that's pretty strong.
And he's going to be pretty much sitting on no mana every single time, right? With those sort of slows in place, RTZ can very easily step up and burn that Clinks' mana away. So now he doesn't even have the mana for the Searing Arrows harassment.
Bringing extra mangoes though, so they're just going to keep feeding him mangoes to ensure that he can at least throw out that harassment a bit. But yeah, I mean, RTZ's going to definitely just get this free farm down bottom now, and it's going to be nice for them, as it's going to be up to Crit where he decides to go with his movements. He will probably be very low level on this Doom, as ganking any lanes is pretty difficult, but when your Puck does have 6, it becomes a lot easier, and Abed has just hit 6.
He's going to go for this. Dream Core drop down, Crit's able to walk in, and with the Stampede, is he going to be able to get away? He is not. They get the kill. EG, they get the Tempest double, they get the hero itself. That's a huge amount of money going their way.
JT will at least be able to return the favor up top, as he was able to bring down Ramses with that Stampede. Going for double bracer build. I actually like this quite a lot on the Centaur, since he's in a 1v1. He doesn't need like boots or anything. He just needs to be able to stand his ground and hit him. 1500 health Centaur. That is pretty damn scary. Now he's going to have boots. He's going to have very early phase boots afterwards to continue shutting down Ramses. And Ramses can't actually get that last hit on the courier.
Dima at this point is constantly having to call in supports to be there just in case EG get aggressive between the two of them. JT will be finally forced to TP out of the lane, so a little bit of breathing room for Ramses to soak in some solo farm as the Abaddon. Every time this bottom lane, easy, he can just jump in, take the man away from Flyfly. Crit, can he get in range? And he can, on top of them with the Scorched Earth. Flyfly will be taken down. Arteezy able to get the last bit of a touch, so more gold for this farming anti-mage.
That is a pretty big concern for me. If you see your Klinks losing your safe lane versus an anti-mage draft and you're just able to get run down like that, that is...
I mean, it just feels hard to see what this Klinks is going to be able to offer at any stage of the game. This hero is, it can look incredibly underwhelming.
The only thing I can see is something that they mentioned on the panel, is if he's able to get an Orchid timing versus a Puck and an Anti-Mage, you could see, damn, you know, an Orchid versus those two heroes would be amazing, but he's not going to get a good timing on it at all, even if he does opt to go for that type of item in
And that's
game.
the thing, he gets an Orchid, he's going to go on someone, there'll be a TP over from Ramsey's shield, and suddenly he's not getting the kill. It's just so hard for IG's lineup to guarantee pickoffs like that.
Yeah. There's a reason that this hero started to fall off quite heavily in favor, but maybe, just maybe, there's something that can turn it with maybe like magnetic field or something that makes him attack that much faster or something. Who knows? It does seem a bit difficult though for this hero in the game, as there's ways to get on top of him. They've got a Puck who can just jaunt on top of you, get the coil on you, and then Anti-Mage can just blink on you in most of the times.
Up top, JT coming in the Stampede to try and go for Ramses. Ramses put the Mango, he's got another shield. Kaka's going to be here to help JT out. Nukes off the shield, another one is there, but they'll drag him back. Do they have the damage with the Who Stomp control? They're going to be able to bring him low.
He got phase boots delivered just now. One more hit. He's got the double edge.
Oh, he's juking. He's running. He's trying.
He's got another phase boots. He's popping it.
They've got him. The vision's there for the fade bar. IG will finally be able to get Ramses killed off again. They do, slow him down. They are making sure that Ramses is pressured heavily in this matchup where he's already having a tough time against the Centaur.
Oh, I know. Ramses just sends his courier up there and JT just kills it. Standing at the tower. Okay. That was the phase boots on the courier for Ramses, so now he doesn't have his chainmail or his blades of attack.
Yeah, I mean, maybe with the phase he could have confidently gone straight back up into the matchup, but losing those for a minute means another minute where he's going to feel pretty unfavored in that 1v1.
Yeah, definitely eyes on JT to be that big playmaker for IG in this game, as the other heroes are going to have to farm a lot. The Arc Warden in particular, he's going to have to go for that, Wraith Band, as we've seen, into the Treads, into that Maelstrom. But maybe they can actually make stuff happen with the Centaur as well as that Klinks, because of how good of a start JT has been given. And Flyfly, even though he has died that one time, he is still doing a good job in the net worth. He is at the top there with the rest of the cores of EG. And he's queued up, he's actually queued up the Desolator this game. So he looks like he wants to be like that pusher and just straight physical damage versus some low armor heroes that there are on the side of EG. As long as there is no ice armor, but there is always going to be that ice armor.
Again, they'll see an opportunity to go in on Ollie, dragging him in with the Sinister Gaze. He has the Brain Sap, heals him up a little bit, but Crit will stay and chase him down with that Scorched Earth. Nightmare does hold Crit back in place, so Ollie can live a little longer. They'll pull Flyfly onto the side. Flyfly is going to be able to turn, shoot down Arbed's couriers. Arbed comes in with the rotation. Arteezy finishes off Ollie. Another kill for this Anti-Mage. As this lane continue to be one where IG just pretty much lose the trades every single time. They're not prepared to fight against these three heroes of EG.
They're bringing more now, though. Emo is starting to join the fray. He wants to try to alleviate this pressure on the outposts as well. They want to try to secure themselves one. 4 heroes down bottom.
Let's see what they can do here. Kaka and Firefly opening up onto the Lich. They'll get Fly. It's 2 against 4. EG's got to be careful. Arteezy already backing away. They do bring Firefly low. He's trapped up by the Dream Coil. There's not really a way that they can get back in on it, though, EG. So Firefly will be allowed to live. They'll look to secure themselves. This outpost, as Arbed does not want to commit into the 4 of them. They'll let them take it.
They're so low. Crit is thinking about it on the side there.
See if he can get the move in, the Flux. Defensive Nightmare, Ollie will fall. EG to get 1. Extra TP's coming in from IG. They want to fight EG here. There's Crit falling low, they back away. Stampede, the drag back with the telekinesis. Arteezy, he's been left behind. They kill off the Anti-Mage. IG finally able to push Arteezy out of the lane.
And he gets both kills during the death pack. So 10 permanent damage gained for the Klinks during that as well, as them getting that outpost. Nice movements coming out from IG in response, just bringing everybody. They see that EG is going to bring everybody, they will as well. Well, everyone except for Ramses, but they're going to just try to bring the number advantage to get that outpost, and they do so.
And that's the thing as well for JT with the start that he's had. He really can be that playmaker. He can just head over, stampede straight in. He's going to have the hood done. So very little that he has to be scared of on EG's lineup. He can just run into the full 5 of them and set something up. That little bit of lockdown, giving Fly the time to sit back and hit into his target.
Dream steal here for Kaka. Not your Doom or your Puck Coil, but this might just be one of the better ones too, is the Aphotic Shield. Just being able to have this is going to be so powerful for them to turn the tides of any type of fight that does happen. Is Ramses, they will pop the ulti, they will force it. But it looks like both of those offlaners are going to be going for a similar type of build. Pipe, just super valuable this game. Much more valuable, though, for IG, though, in comparison. It looks like Ramses has queued up a Pipe, but I look at the side of IG, and their magic damage isn't really that high. It's like these Spark Raids, a Fade Bolt, and then Double Edge. They don't really have the craziest amount. It's a bit curious to see that he has queued up a Pipe this game for it. I guess you're inevitably going to expecting like a Maelstrom on the Arc Ordnance, so it'll block a little bit of that damage too, but
With the way the lanes are now and IG having their levels, it's easy. He's opted to stay away from any of the action. He's going to go full jungle mode right now to try and secure a good timing with the Battle Fury. He knows that if he cannot turn up down bottom, especially with JT remaining in this lane, top lane, Emo, he's able to push down the tier 1. As IG, they are beginning to build up some of the tempo against this AM lineup of EG. And we'll see how long they can keep this up and to the point where RTZ is going to be forced to turn up to the fights. And even then, he's not going to have much to show for it at all. It's going to take him time on the AM before he's really ready to go. Bottom, Ramses.
That's diving JT is not a good idea.
You cannot dive this. I don't know what the plan was there from Ramses. He did no damage at all. I don't know what he saw there. I don't think anyone knew what he saw there. That was never going to be anything good for EG.
Way too aggressive. This is a 2,000 health Centaur right under his tower as well. There is no way that you're going to bring that mat down on top of a hood. His effective HP is actually way higher because of that, since it is mostly magic damage on the side of EG early.
It's easy with the information that he has down bottom. Just try and show his face in lane. You know, it's going to leave the area, just leaving the double to push out. Timing for Fly 1K away from the full Deso.
He's gonna have a pretty good timing on it, and he will be able to look and hunt for Arteezy, the anti-mage, who's just going to be sitting in the jungle trying to farm up a Battle Fury. He's very at risk of dying to a quick rotation from a Clinks. If he blinks on top of that Clinks, he'll just die pretty much immediately when he jumps out of that invis on the Clinks with that increased attack speed.
Another grab of the shield for Kaka. He's going to be able to play around with that once more.
Yep. Looking good for IG so far here.
Yeah, they've opened this up very well.
And Ramses again, he stepped up far.
He has got the borrowed time. They will have the Stampede to chase him though, as they look to pop the ult. See if Ramses gets any sort of help. I don't think he will, because Fly's here. They should have the damage easily to take him down. The shield is gone. JT stays on top. Ramses, he's dead once more. He had a tough lane, and now he's making all of these pretty rough plays down bottom. He's feeding quite a bit to IG.
He's playing way too over-aggressive. When he wants to be doing those type of aggressive plays, I think he just has to have Abed near him if he wants to be in that position to at least like bail him out. Because besides that, there's no other ways to slow down the lineup of IG. They don't have these crazy amount of stuns. It's just really their coil to stop them. Yeah, they're really starting to steamroll with this, and we see JT, he's got the hood, he's got it locked, as we always mention. You know, he locks it so then you break it after you use it and get that pipe finished up. So even tankier now on this Centaur, and the Clinks also was the one who gets, of course, more permanent damage with that last kill, so up to 15.
He's scaling up.
It's all working right now.
It certainly is, and I mean, as you say, with that sort of damage building up that little extra, it is going to help them secure kills onto Arteezy once they are able to now start making moves into his jungle. As it goes so far, he's still being uninterrupted and will continue to be able to farm away and look towards that Battle Fury timing, but he's having to do it solely from the jungle. He cannot show himself in lanes, Arteezy.
You see what Fly does there? He sees the Van Brace and he's like, ooh, I almost picked it up by accident, but he locks his Wraith Band first, then he picks it up, ensuring that he can give it to one of his other heroes, probably giving it to JT because he's got the double bracer and he probably will need inventory space pretty soon.
Yeah, JT would
just kidding.
Certainly be the right call. Oh, has he done him?
Yeah, locked it right away after I said that.
No, I mean, they must have been having the discussion, otherwise there was no reason why I locked it.
Absolutely.
I guess JT made the call, says I don't want it. You take it. In lane, drag back. They don't quite have the damage still, though he hits hard. Just seeing it Fly with this very quick Deso timing. This is what the plan was from IG. Get the Deso quickly, start to play aggressive. They do not want Arteezy to have the chance to play his anti-mage game.
No, they can look to bring down all of the towers very quickly and also contest and go for a quick early Roche with this, and that's what they're going to do down here. With this magnetic field as well, it's going to make it that much faster. Extremely fast after EG. They can't contest this at all. This is looking a little worrisome. They're going to really need Abed to start making some plays here to make space for Arteezy, as it's really starting to battle through here. IG, they're really going to want to press the issue forward here. With this Deso, they can look to just go for these tier 2s. Just keep shrinking the map.
I mean, as I said, at the start we were skeptical of the Clinks, and IG showing us exactly how it's done. Utilizing him for these early power advantages, making sure that he had this lane where he wasn't really slowing down Arteezy's farm that much, but he was still able to farm confidently himself, get this good timing on the Deso, and Clinks with the Deso this timing, he's going to be able to do so much more than an anti-mage with just a Battle Fury. Yeah, you heard how hesitant, how reluctant that the panel even was when they saw that end-mage pick. They're like, ooh, this could actually give IG a big window to make these aggressive moves, and that's exactly what's happened. The AM is not going to be able to get involved, which makes everybody else on the side of EG just play more passive. And Blink Dagger on JT too, so now they've got a lot of catch and go. They can definitely look to start hunting down Arteezy. I mean, maybe they won't even care about Arteezy. If they can just push lanes, kill other heroes, take tier 2s, pressure the high ground, force Arteezy to turn up to the fights, the game's still going to play out very nicely for IG at this tempo.
Yeah, that's likely to be the case of what they're going to do. Ramses just pops the ult. Doesn't want any funny business. We'll get out of there. Yeah, just turn the pace up. Once you start knocking on high ground, which they can do very early with this draft, just force Arteezy back, force EG into uncomfortable positions. Here they go.
Another tower, 17 minutes in, they're approaching high ground, IG. EG's going to have to respond. Arteezy is not ready as the anti-mage to turn up for this, so EG, they're going to have to do this as a 4 versus 5 maximum.
They thankfully have at least a flash shield to slow them down. Ramses, as soon as he steps up, JT goes.
Abed's trying to jump into the backgrounds with the burst, but Ramses
is dead. Still cooldown.
It wasn't there. It wasn't back up yet. Ramses just feeding his life away once again. This tier 3 is falling low. Abed trying his best to keep them off it. He's going to pop the Dream Core down. They do have a very low Clinks among their mix, but there's no follow-up. Fly is fine. He'll step back in, heal himself up, looking to try and finish off this tower. He's getting nuked low, but with the Aegis, he doesn't really care, even if he's taken down the once, and he won't even need to use it yet. IG's able to play it safe, back away. They've already done so much damage to that tier 3. One more push in, and they'll be able to finish it off. It's
just an attempt to stall by EG there, but great recognition. I think it was JT who must have made that call, because he was pinging, he was saying, like, in the chat, you see Abaddon is missing. He was saying probably Abaddon's ult is on cooldown still. If he shows his face, we're immediately jumping him. It's exactly what they did. Great heads up play. EG, they need more time. Arteezy, he needs a lot more time.
At least needs the Manta before he can stand a chance turning up. And even then, he's still, you're looking for the item after that before he's actually ready to present himself and be some sort of a threat to IG's heroes.
I think he might have to get involved with the Manta though in this game. Like, it's still pretty strong for him just to be able to show up with down, because he's that much tankier. Doesn't have to worry about, like, there's not like any other things that he really has to worry about. He has a lot of protection. He has the shield as well that can guard him, and he has the ice armor that's going to be coming out from crit. Doesn't want to let IG just have free reign around the map, which they are starting to really have.
I mean, they're moving up here. Eyes on crit. They'll lift him up. And they'll take him down. Fly. With these early items, he is doing the damage. The armor means nothing at all against him because of this lead he has.
And he's starting to queue up an item that allows him to deal with an anti-mage, be it get to that stage. A Hex. I mean, they're going to have one of the pieces for it pretty soon on that Clinks.
This really some next level stuff from IG. This Clinks pick, it's working perfectly. They had a plan, and it's so far going incredibly smoothly for IG. 20 minutes in, EG they're still not ready to turn things around. They went all in on this anti-mage pick.
Yep. And they went for, it's also like with this pipe on Ramses, it just doesn't feel very good this game versus IG's draft. They're not spell damage really this game. They are physical damage for the most part in the draft. This doesn't feel like it actually does a whole lot here. It's emo.
They do lose the Arc Warden. Abed able to take him down. Did have a double damage rune, I believe, on the puck, so had enough punch to bring him out. Does now hit the 15. He's got the phase shift attack.
That's pretty good.
He's going to jump in, see if they can catch maybe more out of this. As IG now on the retreat.
not really any further lockdown. Their only real stun / control is going to be coming from Abed with that Dream Coil, but that's a big kill. It punches him all the way up to level 15 as well, and he went for the 30 damage talent on the puck this time around. So he's going to be going for that physical. Oh my god, crit.
He's got some armor, the shield, it's not enough. Maybe they can punish Flyfire for this. He's been dusted, slowed down, but JT's in. They take down the Lich, they turn towards Ramses. This clicks, it's just doing so much damage right now. Borrowed time will be popped, but they have to live. Back he goes. They'll pick up the kill on Ramses as well, for sure. I mean, I say that, yeah, they got him. JT's in, they slam him down. And EG, they are just not ready for this these offensive plays from IG. Game 1 was a masterclass from EG. Game 2, it's something completely different from IG, but it's working just as well. This Clink strategy, obviously something they practice, and it's coming into play brilliantly here.
And he's already got the 35 permanent damage now. He has the ulti orb as well finished up. Aegis does get reclaimed, but they're making all the right moves.
They are snowballing out of control.
How are we doing on that Manta? It's still about 1,000 gold short. I really do think Arteezy's going to have to show up with that one. He is creeping toward that top net worth, so it does look like he is going to at least be able to claim that #1 net worth in this game. Just what's he going to be able to make of it?
I mean, he's got to get on top of this Clinks. They cannot let Firefly get the damage out. They've got to find a way to stop this Clinks from just shooting out so much damage. And they do have ways to get on top of them. Both Arteezy and Abed can get in, blinking forward, jumping forward with the orb to close that gap.
And also Crit now. Crit does have the Blink Dagger finished up. So that's also a pretty big one there for them to just simultaneously jump him.
Because as much as this Clinks hurts, he still is relatively glass cannon. Sure, he gets a bit of a burst of HP with the buff. But he's going fully offensive, as you say. The Deso into the Hex. And in terms of saves from his teammates, it's going to be down to JT to hit the timings with the Stampedes and the supports to just be able to control the heroes that are going on him. But no sort of straight up easy dispels to keep Fly safe if everybody on EG commits on him. Jump forward, they find the Doom. Crit straight in, finds his target. Have they got the damage to kill him? He's been nightmare defensively, but indeed they should get him. The Stampede is popped, but the Doom will continue to tick him down. He's hiding in the trees. Is he going to be able to outlive this? He is. You're right. They didn't have enough. Again, the stolen Aphotic Shield keeping him safe against that Doom damage. They've lost Lich, and now IG, they can look for quick crit. Blinks down.
No way.
Anything to cancel him? Yes, there is. They've got the Nightmare. Ollie has the Vision, and IG continue to get kill after kill. 14-5 now, 6k lead. EG's best attempts, they're put to a stop. Kaka every time in these fights. The shield, it's always there for him. He's going to have that save. I said he didn't have the dispel, he didn't have the save. I mean, I forgot the fact.
Always going to get it, right? You're either going to get the shield or the heal coming out from Ramses. You're very rarely to get borrowed time unless he literally actively pops in and runs into you while they're making that type of play. Great heads-up play by Kaka going for that there. And that was Chain Frost, that was a Puck Coil, and a Doom thrown onto a Clinks, a hero that you would imagine would die from that, but more than prepared. And also, you know, the Pipe Aura as well as the Activatable did protect him a lot as well. IG were prepared for that one. EG probably thought that they could just get that freebie, but all of IG's heroes were in the vicinity.
On top,
Ramses.
It's a nightmare setup on Ramses. Is there any help coming through him? I don't think there will be. He has borrowed time. He's got a fair bit of movement speed, but again, another nightmare. They just continue to play around.
Abed Hex the back.
Bad in the wall. Flyfly kills him off. The Hex reveal warrants a huge kill for IG as Abed is gone. Ramses will end. As they are hitting back so hard. Game 1, IG looked absolutely lost, but they come into this game 2, and they are just giving EG a taste of their own medicine. They are destroying them in these first 25 minutes.
With their own unique strategy, which is always the funnest to see. 45 bonus damage now built up. Arteezy. They know that this is now available, though, that has.
They got any follow control. Already in the matter of Flyfly burn, so Flyfly cannot stay on top of them.
He also has the ice armor on him right now, too, so he is that much more, that much tankier to deal with that minus armor that comes from that Desolator as well as that Death Pact. So he's going to be able to get out, but it's a scare. Like, this Hex so early on, we saw Abed just died almost instantly because of it.
I think most of the heroes really will. It's just, Arteezy, it takes a little more work to bring down as he continues to be very fun. The question is, Is this still a game where you say IG, they've certainly got to keep their pressure up, because can an anti-mage carry this game for EG?
He needs a lot more. Right now, it's really not looking like it. There's just a lot of control coming out on the side of IG to deal with him. He's going to be going for an Scotty build, which is very good versus these ranged carries, as we know, since it affects ranged heroes more when you do get on top of them. But you do have to look at the side of IG, and there is an overwhelming amount of control. They have Bane, they have Rubik, they have a Hex on this Clinks, they have the Centaur, and even could potentially get even more type of disables to deal with this anti-mage. It is looking a bit difficult for Arteezy to really solo carry this game, as he effectively is. It is now a 4-protect 1. But Abed is also going for a carry build. He's recognizing that he probably doesn't think that Arteezy can do it by himself. He's got the Blink Desolator, and he's got a Daedalus queued up on Abed, so he's probably realizing, this anti-mage is not looking likely to be able to carry it by himself.
Yeah, they need every bit of damage they can. We already saw, last time when they committed even the ultimates onto the Clinks, it's not enough. They have to have some sort of additional punch to bring Fly down. But the maneuvers the movements across the map from IG have just been in a way that they can never really get to the Clinks.
Yeah, they actually find themselves a really, really good neutral item on the side of IG in this game. It's the Mindbreaker. Versus that AM, versus the Puck. This is something that can really catch these heroes off guard. Even versus Abaddon, too. Like, the silence can really just mess with your game plan. We do see it was JT who's carrying it. So it's a bit of an unorthodox hero who is carrying it, but they can definitely make a lot of use of this item.
Still just buying time for Arteezy. Scotty, 2,000 gold away.
Can't believe JT's actually just keeping up in farm with him still. We saw Arteezy claim that top net worth for a second, but this Centaur, JT having a flawless game. 5-0-6, 200 last hits from the laning phase to the mid game. It's been everywhere for this IG squad. Taka very boldly walking up.
It's going to lift back. Onto Crit, they will jump forward, onto Firefly, there's the stop, JT's got the control, they've lost to him, Crit buys back straight away, Chain Force out, Arteezy separates himself, he's ready to blink him, but he's actually held back by the Nightmare. Arteezy's been played around with, let's get the Mantra to jump away, they've lost Fly, and Firefly, he's pushing Ramsey's back. IG are not done yet, they're looking to see if they can get anything more out of this.
Arteezy is actually pretty lucky that the shield popped, because I think he was about to get Fiend's Gripped. Bottom, Ramses.
Do they want to dive for this? Yep, they do. JT's in. Another stomp. And Ramses is hexed. He's falling low, gets the shield out in time. Firefly is coming in very deep for this kill. He will get it. And he'll be able to back off as well. They just don't have the catch. Was Arteezy trying to believe TP back, but Ollie, he cancels the TP. The Nightmare into the Fiend's Grip. Emo's in. Is it enough damage to kill off the AM? It is. Emo gets the kill. Ollie with the perfect controls. I believe Arteezy was just blindly TPing back. He didn't expect the Bane to be on top of him.
Ollie's got a read for him for sure. In the river, honestly, I was saying, Arteezy was pretty lucky that Kaka's shield popped because it woke him up from the enfeeble. He was about to get Fiend's Grip in the river there, and most likely die as well, but doesn't matter. IG finds him anyway. 12,000 gold lead. Now picking up even more items. They're preparing for the later stages, and MKB's already done on this arc. And a quiver, sure.
I mean, this game really does feel like it's stepping closer and closer to the impossible territory for EG if it's not already there. This 20-5 they're down, 11k lead for IG. Only Arteezy with some sort of semblance of farm. Sure, it takes a little bit of time to kill him, but they can kill him, and they're just not scared of this anti-mage at all with how big all three of IG's cores are.
Yeah, he can't even go for sticking on a target and killing them because he's gone for this Scotty. He's going to be going for, he's not even going to have it, but he's going to be going for this Scotty build, not a Basher build. So he can't just go for kills on anybody as Kurt.
I mean, he gave his life to make sure that EG did have an outpost before the 30-minute mark. So considering things, not a terrible trade for him with how far behind EG are, but obviously nothing that's going to be taking them a step forward to getting back in the lead this game.
See what Ollie queued up. He's feeling himself after getting that pick off on Arteezy. He's got a Hex queued up on the Bane. Why not? Why not? You just need more control. Well, that the only thing you have to worry about in this game is an anti-mage getting out of control. I mean, this he probably won't even get the Hex, but they're recognizing it's just Arteezy versus the world, and they are going to be having more than enough solutions to deal with him.
And EG, they're going to have to answer this again soon. IG pushing in both the mid and the top lane. Ready to go for the racks. Fireflies, we've seen this excellent game he's had. He's got 65 bonus damage built up from the buff.
Free relic.
And can EG do anything to take them off this racks? I don't think they can.
I don't think they can.
Too much damage. The melee racks just falling before EG's eyes. The rage racks as well are going to be slowly beaten down by the Tempest double. As IG, they can just rinse and repeat this. Move to another lane, pushing again. They know that RTZ, he's still not ready to have an impact anymore. I said he's going to try and go in. Going for Fly's out with the invis. RTZ looking to stay on top. He is just in a mana void, but does no damage at all. He's still going for it, but JT covers Fly's defense. Arbed jumps in the side. Oh, does he kill him? Fly's still alive. He's not going to die.
Oh my God.
Back to the shrine. He'll live. EG do continue to try and chase on, but IG, they'll heal up by the shrine. Crit, he's looking for the Doom target. Fly's running away from RTZ. He turns, hexes the anti-mage. JT, Ollie, they're holding back the rest of them, and now Emo's turned up. He's just going to start killing all of EG. They're not ready to deal with these cores on IG right now. Arbed's out of mana. Ollie with the grip, holds down the puck. A double kill for Emo. JT jumps across. Borrow time has already been used by Ramses. The shield burst off. Ramses dies yet again. As IG now 18k ahead. This anti-mage draft from EG looks like it's been put in the dumpster by IG. There seems to be no hope for RTZ to carry this game right now.
No, definitely. Look at JT. He's got a heart. This is a 4,800 health Centaur. He's just tanking tier 4s, taking tier 3s as well. No fear at all versus what EG's got to show. They're just cruising through this one. 24-5, 20k gold lead. They can look to close this one out.
Yeah, they just stay click down the lanes. That's what they're going to try. Arbed will jump in. They do get themselves on top of the rim. That's one. Can they get more? RTZ.
Okay.
He gets Fly. RTZ's turned up. This could be the fight for EG to turn things around. Doom down onto Emo. There'll be a buyback from Fly. He knows this is a great fight for EG. They will then bring down Emo. Double kill for RTZ. Oh, my God. Only can't see me. Why is it triple kill for R2? And they're not done yet. They're going on Horse JT's side. It's pulled back. RTZ, he is ready to carry EG as the Centaur falls. And at the point of the game where it looked like it was over, it looked like this AM draft had been entirely destroyed by IG. EG, they team wipe Invictus Gaming. They're pushing down the lanes. JT and Emo do not have buyback. They're dead for a full minute.
Did I just curse them? As soon as I'm saying they can continue around here, Arbed gets a perfect coral onto the backlines there. There's no stampede for them to disengage, and they just pop Fly right away. Holy moly, I did not see that one coming.
RTZ, I mean, he's just shutting up the haters right there with this team fight.
He shut me up.
We thought the whole world was watching and thought they were getting their lols and mega lols ready. They looked like this one was done and dusted for EG. But EG, out of nowhere, a team wipe. And RTZ, he's still got a lot of work for him this game, but he's ready to try and show us how he's going to carry this one out.
Wow. That is a 11,000 gold swing A. I mean, we're waiting for the experience to even finish catching up, but that experience swing as well is going to be close, nearing 15,000 plus. That is unbelievable. I cannot believe they actually got it like that. And that's going to give what Puck now almost has a full Aghanim Scepter as well, so we did see the BKBs were coming out on both. I think the Clinks didn't have his BKB yet, but the BKB was there for the Arc Ward, and now they're going to have ways to be able to stick on them even through that. Wow, I'm still very shocked to see that they were able to do that one.
I mean, and that fight, it could not have come any later. They needed that to happen right there, EG. Yep. Otherwise, that second Rax was going down. IG was going to push up. They were going to be starting to go into the tier 4s, onto the Ancients, but EG somehow seen that opening to make the perfect fight happen for them that will allow them to hold on for now in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, RTZ literally just got a full BKB off of that now. Level 23 now. Jumped so far forward. Roche. IG still does bring this one down very quickly. EG is smoked though. They do have the Aghanims finished up. They have the BKB
in time. This is going to go down way too quickly. IG, they'll get this for themselves. Aegis, Cheese, and the Aghanim's Blessing. Fly will take the Aegis. Aghanim's Blessing goes the way of JT, so they'll have that damage reduction during this stampede. JT, he jumps in, gets the two-man stop. EG, they're going to try and send the calls on the background. RTZ blinks away. Arbed's been hexed up, he's dead. Now, no Arbed for nearly 2 minutes. His buyback unavailable, cripple fall as well. EG, they've got to be careful. This is a painful 100 seconds without their puck. RTZ's got to make moves, and he's got to make moves now. Goes in on the Fly, pops the BKB, but only he goes for the grip. Fly cancels it with a pullback. The Sinister Gaze. RTZ moves over to Kaka. Kaka is gone. RTZ blinks out. He's going got to stay back. Buyback from Kaka. IG know that they've got the advantage. They know that they've still got this long duration where Arbed is not going to be able to turn up to the fight.
Arteezy jumps back into Ollie.
And he's Fly does kill Fly. Ramsey's trying to draw the attention away from the rest of them. And it will cost him his life, Ramsey's, as slowly but surely they take him out. That is now Ramsey's gone as well for 90. Their buybacks on cooldown after that last play. It's all on Arteezy now. He's the only one alive.
And his base is starting to get pushed by these creeps. Double catapults, taking out the tier 4. He's got to back up for those. And we saw the way JT started that fight. Did you see that? They were smoked, but the Spark Wraith, I believe, hit one of the heroes that was smoked, and he just jumped in super ambitiously, able to connect with a nice two-man stun. And Abed, like you said, Abed jumps in, insta-hexed. He did not get anything off.
And they'll take a second max. I mean, JT, he's on to pressuring the tier 4. They have a fortification. EG will have another fight in them. It's just 20 seconds now before Arbed and Fly are back in. But already JT, he's actually up for the jump. He's found the connection onto Arteezy into the hex. Arteezy in trouble. There's falling low. Arteezy is dead. JT with the setup. And that will be the game over. IG, they shot Arteezy back down. EG, they had that one fight. It was not enough. IG were too far ahead. There was no further opportunities. But they'd be nice, IG, you know. They're like, oh, well, look at this poor old AM. We'll let him have a bit of glory. Then we'll get back to cruising right over him and the rest of his teammates. IG, the Clink strat worked out great. The AM strat, it did not. I don't think we're seeing the anti-mage again.
No, I think it was just way too greedy to be able to put inside of this draft. And I think the way they set up their lanes was really nice for IG. They had the three ranged heroes bottom with that death pack that comes in, that little minus armor that comes out too. But I think that ice armor started to turn the tides, of course, but overall in the game, I think IG just got way too much. JT was an absolute...
Evil Geniuses turn to ban.
Try to predict what's going to happen. We got Kyle, Sind, and Grant. We've talked about that second game quite a bit. I think panel's relatively surprised, to say the least. Do we think that this third game, this draft, is going to resemble that second one at all, Kyle?
I hope not, but I've been surprised before. I'll never forget, after the Chongqing Major, where EG rode Terrorblade through to, I believe, like the final series, the upper bracket finals of that major, right? We dropped down to the lower. Guess what they first two losses in a row, Rich?
I was there. I actually don't remember, Kyle.
TB, probably. Yeah. How'd you know?
I don't know.
You'd be surprised. The enemy team knew too, and then they blasted them off the map. So
I think on the other side, though, for IG, yeah, we should see something similar. They just showed they play a lot better when they're the ones in ahead of the tempo, and I hope they don't go back and like try to do what EG just did, right, and like slow it down. They should just go pedal to the metal.
Look at the respect from EG as well, banning out that centaur, because if you could isolate anything from that last game, it's JT being on a playmaker in comparison to just being behind on an Omni Knight. As Fogg was saying during the cast, he's Omni versus OD Razor. It's an unwinnable, unplayable game, and you're just dead.
He was 2,000 net worth up on his own carry. The Centaur was like, he had a phenomenal game.
EG are still a bit concerned about it, though. They banned it regardless. I do want to say that on the topic of last game, I don't think EG need to make too many adjustments. I liked a lot of their draft. I don't think necessarily that all the way until the end that they were in major trouble. I think, sometimes you drop the ball, maybe something in the game happened that they weren't expecting, and they still would have, if we asked them on the spot and we're like, was aim a bad pick, they might say, no, it wasn't. We just messed up. Ball was died 3 times in lane, like it's possible that other things in that game went wrong, and we just get to have the easy conclusion of AM sucks.
We look from above.
Yeah. So
I want Arteezy on a hero that buys a BKB, preferably second or third item, right? The Razor did just that. Much like Fear before him, EG's carries have always been incredible at utilizing their BKBs. I feel like it's just been a hallmark of that role, starting with Fear, I guess. I don't want to go too far back in the past. There were some rough years for EG fans.
A couple. You definitely don't have to go too far back in the past right now, because we're seeing kind of a repeat right now of the Open, at least, yet again.
I wouldn't doubt if they take Rubik. The problem is, like, Rubik Centaur is just a good lane. Is there any other lane quite like that for a Rubik if you do want to take it here? Like, Rubik Axe isn't the same. Rubik Legion? Anything? Legion?
Rubik Legion.
I could see a Legion commander, but I'm not sure I like it as much, especially because, you could go Lich Legion, I suppose, but it's a very different relationship picking LC versus Centaur into an expected Lich. Second pick from EG. And again, IG will have overall last pick in this draft.
Gotta be careful, especially in a game like this. You're against Abed. You always want that last pick so he can't hit you with the meepo.
I like Lich Legion. Sounds good to me. Yeah.
Any other offlaners that like stand out? Oh, we won't have to wait long. There's the Legion. Nice call. Sky?
The combo. That's the other one that they've been running on Kaka when they have the Legion Commander. I think maybe they were talking about picking the Lich, and they're like, if we do that, we will not get our Skywrath. Yeah. So they consider this a more important hero to grab.
And this also kind of removes the pressure from the LC to actually successfully win duels. Now, even if you Lich as EG, the Skywrath is still going to be responsible for 80 to 90% of the damage. Lich Frost Shield does absolutely nothing. It's also quite nice against Doom because you force EG to perhaps pick up an early pipe. Last game, it was Ramses on the Abaddon who did that. Not sure if I liked that decision, as it really just crippled his ability to accelerate in the game. But now you certainly are going to need one up against a Sky. Rushing a Glimmer Cape, also necessary. Although it's not as effective because the duel forces you to attack, thus breaking the invis and removing the magic resist.
I feel like they're thinking about Tiny here, but they might just go with Lich.
I'd go Tiny 100%. I like Tiny. On my team, I pick Tiny.
It's like, because it is like kind of this weird kind of save against the Legion Scarlet, and it gives him a playmaker, and we always say, crit on a playmaker equals a better game. Oh.
Okay, that was banned out second phase by IG, right?
I think so. When they've had Legion, they've been banning this hero.
And I like this. This is one of those heroes for Arteezy. The new style is much more of a fighting lifesteal. This isn't Midas Radiance any longer. It's early Maelstrom into the Halberd, but you can play a lot more aggressive, and it naturally gets him involved earlier in the game. I think this is ideal. It's also got not necessarily a BKB purchaser, but it's built in to the hero.
And if a Legion jumps on you, you should be able to click your Q button before he clicks his R button. And then you won't die to the duel.
That's a good point.
Against the Skywrath, at least, unless they get something else.
That's a couple of standout bans for IG right now. I think Lich has to be at the top of the list to still consider, even though you have Skywrath. There's just so much offensive capability for EG. Putting Ice Armor, or sorry, Frost Shield on Lifestealer makes him incredibly powerful. It's great for Doom to work around. Other options, maybe Winter Wyvern could be a pick for EG. Great against Duel. You're playing into Skywrath's hand, but you can get a Glimmer Cape, and then all of a sudden
you don't think IG would just take it third here?
The Wyvern themselves?
Yeah.
Or Lich, even.
It's a possibility. I think Wyvern is a really good hero against Lifestealer, regardless of the new or old version. You just have a BKB piercing long duration stun. I wouldn't put it past them to get their Bane again, though. It was very well last game. It's good against Doom and Lifestealer. They have
laner too. I think that's
tons of damage and grip.
Thus far in the match, in this tournament, really, but specifically this series, feels that the laning phase kind of just determines who's going to win the
100%.
game. I got to be worried about TA as well if I'm EG.
Yeah,
especially in the 22 pick spot.
Has Emo been looking good on that? I would say yes, for the most part. I think he hasn't like super blown me away, but he's played it solidly enough that if it's a good pick, they can go for it.
Yeah, he plays a little different than most, where he rotates a lot more. While other TAs will go back to the jungle, he plays a more aggressive style, where instead of going to the jungle, he goes to another lane to either steal their jungler or just kill him, which I do like. Not just Emo, he's just aggressive.
That's similar to how he's playing Arc Warden, right?
Every hero, yeah,
every
exactly.
other player. So
he's definitely like a much different mid player than a lot of the, like almost all of them at this tournament. Man, they're using all of their time.
It's for the ban as well.
And they're not even banning the pick right here,
Okay.
Lifestealer Doom, yeah, you kind of have to, I guess.
Fair enough.
And it's also not really understood just what Razor's power level is at right now, because we've only seen him twice in the main stage. He won both games pretty handily, and I'd be afraid of that. Were I in EG's spot as well. Now, the coveted ban to pick for IG, as you said, I think you can ban one support, pick the other, or just grab the one you'd like, take out a core. Like the OD makes sense because EG might already have their offlaner here, and you don't want any hard save for duel, because LC Sky, if you have a scenario in the game where there's an uninterruptible combo, right, just duel, Skywrath ult, boom. If there's nothing EG has that can save, that's like such a huge advantage, because anytime you get the initiation, you can take more risks because you know you're going to be almost guaranteed a kill with the open.
Makes me look for maybe a bit of creativity from EG's side. You could consider Shadow Demon as a possibility this game.
Oracle? I mean, Liquid's playing it pretty good. I know Fly plays it. It just, only Liquid's literally playing the hero. Something's up with it.
Yeah,
I actually, now that I see it, I think Razor was a better ban than both Bane and Wyvern, simply because Razor can also deal with getting doomed. Like, if you have Static Link running, that's one of those frontline heroes that actually doesn't mind the Doom matchup too much, so...
That's such an incredible ban from IG. We haven't seen it from EG yet in the tournament, but as you said, Grant, I think that's just perfect. It effectively gives them all the tools they need, and it's a great against Skywrath as well.
I still think Shadow Demon will be on EG's minds now, especially if they're...
Evil Genius's turn to pick. Radiant team pick.
Jen.
Early on, before 10-12 minutes, Chen will have total dominance, and you can, in the ideal world, take at least a couple of towers.
Sind, how do you feel about the Chen here?
Oh, that's a pretty...
Didn't get
one
banned.
time they didn't ban it.
They didn't.
Yep, they let it through this time. Oh, this is a good Monkey King game.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Not gonna lie, it's really good against all three heroes of EG. I like the Chen though. You're playing into Legion Commander, who gets a pretty good overwhelming odds, but outside of that, the two supports, especially from IG, don't like this Chen matchup. They can't deal with Chen creeps very well. They have no D push. And honestly, maybe that's one of the bigger concerns here when I look at IG's lineup. Their wave clear is actually pretty bad overall for
Legion
this
and
patch.
Boundless right now.
Yeah, Boundless and Overwhelm. It's not great. I think Skyroth is a little bit better than he used to be. Now that Concussive can hit creep waves, but it's not great.
The benefit of the Monkey King in this spot is that it's flexible. That's why Secret even used to open with it in their first two when they had mid one. Now that you see a Storm mid, you might look to dodge that matchup, Sind?
I think this is a completely playable Monkey King matchup. In the past, Monkey King won this match, this lane matchup. I don't know if it's that way anymore.
I think you're going to see Sky a lot mid too, which is going to cripple this Storm Spirit.
So the way it used to go is that Monkey King plays super aggressive from level 1. Like he's in Storm's face and he can dodge one static remnant with Mischief. It's relatively easy to time if you're familiar with the matchup.
Which he should be.
Yeah, and I think some Monkey Kings were even buying Orb of Venom and they start the links just running at him, play on his hill, force him out and take free CS. Every time you get Jingu stacks up, it doesn't matter how much Storm harasses you back from level 2 onward, you full heal on the creep wave.
The question is, this is a Doom off lane, right?
We don't know yet.
Possibly.
You need a playmaker. Well, I guess Storm is your playmaker, but
Can we just crit Tiny? Delivery for the life.
I will always say
toss
crit
out the
Tiny.
Monkey King.
You know that, so I'm always down with it.
I'm not sure how good Tiny is this game. Like, I know he's fantastic on the hero, but when I look at this EG lineup, I don't think he's the missing component overall. I think you want something that really binds them together and going as a 5-man unit, or you're not playing Chen's game. If you pick Tiny now, you're a little bit all over the place, I think.
So, like, what kind of hero then do you think? What's that 4 hero like that? Like an Earth Spirit, even?
I still think a Wyvern is a possibility here.
Last pick TA, they ban it out. Yeah.
Wyvern is pretty good against Monkey King. It's in emergency situations, it can be a cancel for grip. Can buy Glimmer Cape, which I think is really good in this game. He 5-mans with their Chen strat.
Could you Venge?
Also a possibility. I also like that more than Tiny overall in this game.
I'd agree. Just like you already have your win conditions, right? You don't need anything crazy. Just try and ensure that your cores have a good time.
A 4 Venge?
I kind of feel like they're putting the Doom 4 and getting another 3, to be honest. Yeah.
Oh, there's the Ramses. Yep.
So,
right, 4 Doom.
Doom can go for auras as a 4, and then you can get a 3 that has a better matchup, because Doom's matchup into Monkey King, this is a really bad lane. If you don't have ice armor, which
We'll see.
fingers crossed, I might get it again.
You actually have to watch for that.
It's a really bad lane matchup. Veno is awesome against Monkey King.
Oh, yeah.
So I think you want to put Monkey possibly mid now.
Yeah, I think if you're EG, you could even follow the Monkey King around with your Venomancer.
You have a Chen.
Especially if there's a Chen rotating, right?
I think Chen is going to be a big X factor this game, just in the first 5 minutes.
Trying to think of what. Yeah, I mean, God, I hate that I'm saying this, but Lycan is traditionally quite nice against the Venomancer and the Doom.
He would also be good this game, but nobody likes it, so we will not be seeing that here.
And I think because Flyfly's definitely probably playing the Monkey King, I doubt Emo has much experience, right? I think that's like one of the few heroes I'm like, I don't think Emo plays, so it's tough.
Down to 1 second remaining.
Dude, they really took it all. Let's show you how to do it. Let's show you how to do it.
Could be coming. You're playing against Veno, Storm, Lifestealer. Incredible matches for the AM.
Oh, and it is Emo Monkey King. All right, yeah.
The memes, if IG are able to win this last game with Animage, it's a much better matchup for him, and they truthfully will most likely win this game if it goes late enough. But EG, they've got to play with tempo now.
That's one of the first times ever that I've heard the crowd laugh when a final pick does come in. Very exciting, and now we get to see who's the better AM right after this.
Damn it.
Ladies and gentlemen, time for the last game of the night. EG versus IG, Game 3. And let's hope it's a good one. We're certainly going to have some entertainment, that's for sure. This final pick from IG, they're picking the anti-mage. And you got to be honest, it's against the Venom, it's against the Storm. These are two heroes that the AM can be pretty darn strong against.
It's been in the past, it's been traditionally always looked as the the Venomancer counter as well, because you don't really provide any type of disable. You don't really care if you're guild because you have that blink. Of course, versus the Storm is the very obvious one. And even versus Lifestealer, if you can get to the later stages, you will be able to carry the game. This could work.
I mean, that is the question, though. Are they going to be able to get to the later stages? Is there a possibility that IG is going to suffer the same sort of struggles that EG did in Game 2 trying to run the AM lineup, or have they got smarter ways to play around with the AM and to make that space and time for Fly's anti-mage to come online?
I do think they have those heroes to space make. I mean, they have great kill combos is what I'm looking at. With the Legion in the sky alone, those are great kill combos. And then just Monkey King by himself is a hero that can just cause havoc on a map, as you are just able to traverse pretty much across from lane to lane at such a quick fashion. So yeah, I do think so, but the one thing is there's a Chen. I think Chen is the X factor that can really just look to pressure and close down games. Also Venomancer. This hero can pressure lanes very hard and actually set up to push things down too. But it's not like EG has these overwhelming pushing heroes to be able to take advantage of this AM pick. So we will see if Fly can bring it to Arteezy and show him how it's done.
I mean, as I said, either way, this is going to be quite the game to follow to see if that very, very painful turn of events is going to occur for EG, and that anti-mage they lost with is going to be the anti-mage that does defeat them in this very important Game 3.
Nice body blocks, get it, Ollie. Okay, he tried his best. Tried to get that range creep blocked a little bit better. Lane will push. Now, because of this, actually, it's going to probably stay the same a little bit, because Crit, you see what he's doing, actually, he's cutting the wave already, anticipating that IG will set up their supports with this, because of how they did the last game, right? The way they tried lane secured right at the start versus the first wave, he's ensuring he can double up a wave so that Ramses can at least get something out of this bottom lane.
I mean, look at the three lanes. Is there a certain lane that you think we're going to see some severe struggles on one of the sides?
Ramses.
That's just...
I think he's probably the one that's going to suffer the most versus a Bane. It's going to be up to Crit to salvage it, and we see the Crits. He's actually doing he gets another full wave.
All right, and he's going to grab these over and take them over to Ramses, or is he going to take them himself?
Take them to Ramses. He can't kill them now. Ramses needs those. So that'll at least bail Ramses out a little bit of a very, very tough scenario. As I think that's probably the lane that I would say would suffer the most. The other ones, I can't imagine that a kill will come out unless someone's just very out of position. Kaka should be just fine up here. JT, very unlikely to die as well. Maybe with a rotation that comes out from Crit, that's where we'll see AG able to get a kill, but besides that, nah.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Crit's nearly pretty much brought the whole wave or two over towards Ramses under his tower.
Yep. He's like, here you go. You were laning. Bane was zoning you out. There you go. Let's see him zone you out of this.
We'll be under the tower, so we'll see how much Ramses can get out of this with his CS.
I mean, look what Fly is doing, though, too. He actually did not farm the wave. He is doubling it up so that he can deny a full wave from the Venomancer as well. And Ollie will soak at least the experience that is under that tower from Ramses, getting all those last hits. So Bane will get 2 for 2. He actually gets he gets a third deny on a range creep. Will he get this one? Neither of them will. But I think he did deny at least 2 of the range creeps there. So pretty significant.
Oh, top lane. Kaka was able to get Arteezy's carry. Arteezy does still have regen out on him, though. 3 tangos, and a salve that he will just go through right now.
Oh, that's just mean in the middle lane. Crit just comes over and he's like, hey, you want to hit the Storm Spirit? Well, now he's got ice armor. So if you do hit him, he's going to hit you back more times and you won't get nearly as much out of it. That's just rude.
JT. I mean, both him, JT and Kaka, are getting harassed pretty heavily by the duo of EG. Mid lane. The matchup so far incredibly even. It couldn't be any closer. 14 for 3 on Emo compared to the 14 for 2 on Arbed Storm.
Hey, very nicely done by Abed. I like that he goes for the level in the Electric Vortex as well, having that to kind of pull the Monkey King away from actually just getting those Jingu stacks on you all the time, because otherwise that's when you see the Monkey King really take advantage of that lane. Also the Ice Armor, as I mentioned, will help Abed quite a lot to keep it even. Otherwise, Monkey King likes this lane still quite a bit.
And really, the overall story of the lanes, the mids, the carries, they're farming, but the two off-laners, they are struggling. JT, though, I say they're struggling, but JT and Kaka, they just dived the tower and killed off Easy underneath his own tier 1.
He was out of regen completely. He only had the one tango left, and they just take advantage of that one. Kaka, no mercy, level 3 concussive shot. They just have this burst damage that caught Arteezy off guard.
All right, and as I say, JT's not necessarily hitting a lot of creeps, but getting kills like that, it's now going to give him the chance to start farming himself, and it really is just only Ramses that's getting totally shut out at the laning stage.
Yeah, even though he did get a double wave fully pulled to him, he only was able to get 5 to 6 last hits out of all of it.
Oh, they've got to be careful on that top lane. I mean, if IG can get away with this again, diving and killing off Arteezy, this lane it's going to be a nightmare for EG. You would have thought that sort of the regen and sustain between the two of them would have been enough.
Yep.
But IG just seeing that beautiful opportunity to take a kill that feels like it shouldn't have been a kill.
And important to point out, now both of the supports, I saw them immediately when that 4-minute rune was almost spawning. They left their lanes since they recognized Storm has a bottle. If Monkey King is able to deny the Storm from getting a rune,
there's a sentry down and they've got eyes on him.
Yep. I love how they're checking the runes though. I think this is something that's it's pretty basic a lot of the times when you see like, oh, enemy mid laner has a bottle and I don't, like you want your supports to do it, but the way they're doing, they know their side lanes are safe. Anti-mage is at no risk of dying, and Legion Commander should be at no risk of dying because you can just, press the attack off the open wounds if they ever make an aggressive move. So excellent move by the two supports on the side of IG in these first 6 minutes. And lots of couriers are dying here. First rotation coming out. Emo, he wants to look for Arteezy. Maybe even look for Fly as he's walking up here.
Yeah, go for the easier one. Fly with silence. Emo's on top of him. And Fly will... Sorry, Fly, not Fly. Fly. He's down bottom. He's getting aggressive on Ramses at the same time, burning the mana. There's a lot of Flies in this game. And the crit, he's there, keeping Ramsey safe. In fact, Ramsey's just trying to turn and go onto Ollie. Heads up play, TP's out. Knows that there's going to be nothing to cancel it. And this feels like this is going to be a bit of the problem each time that Ramses does start to go on someone. They're going to have blinks, they're going to have TPs. They're not scared of the Venom at all.
Their only stun is Electric Vortex until the Doom ends up picking up a Centaur eventually, which we will probably see him pick up versus a anti-mage. But yeah, they are very limited on disables on the side of EG. So yeah, like you said, we'll probably like to see a lot of just TPs right in front of people. Because Infernal Blade as well, you don't skill that for the most part on Doom until much later. 2-0. Slow start. in this game.
Yeah, pretty much even net worth.
Another courier. JT, he watches it deliver the item to RTZ, and that's Abed's courier.
He's going to try for the solo kill here. Quit's going to be over to help some onto Ollie, but Ollie, he gets the nightmare and the brain snap. Ollie is still alive, and now with the silence, Abed, he's only going to have a little bit mana for one more zip. Is it enough? He's looking for Ollie. Ollie's into the trees. They do have the damage to get it. The burst is enough, but now EG, they may lose heroes for this. Emo stays on top of Crit, jump forward from Fly, boundless strike to stop Fly from being able to get over to help Crit. But maybe because of that, they won't get any of the kills, because now EG, they've got the numbers. Ramses is moved over from bottom, turns towards Emo. Emo's trying to run. Abed zips in. Abed has got the mana he has. He gets it. He'll kill off Emo. But now Abed out of mana in trouble. JT's trying to run in to get the duel off Crit. He's going to look for the body block, stopping Abed from being dueled, but still JT, he pushes on, closes the gap. He has the duel to lock down Abed, and they will get the trade between the mid laners. And maybe IG's not done yet, because Ramses, he's been left on his own on the high ground. He'll force Kako away with the wards, but JT, Fly stay on top of them, and JT picks up the double kill. IG bringing in the forces. JT 2 kills and the bonus duel damage.
Yeah, bringing the AM involved early. When you see the storm start to rotate like that, you're able to do so as well. He ends up losing a lot of health out of it, though. He's all the way down to 200 now when he's going to be laning bottom, so not the healthiest. And as you said, Emo does die in the midst of it all to that arcane rune. If Abed did not have an arcane rune, that would have been a completely different scenario. So,
Fly is low, but instantly with the splash shield, it doesn't matter though. They're able to click him down, and they're not done yet. Abed zipping over onto Ollie. Ollie's got the stick charges, but Abed, he's got one more burst. It's enough. Abed, another kill.
That was such a good play. They saw the anti-mage go back. Like I said, he was down to like 200 HP. They used the Chen Divine Favor to bring the storm bottom and make that play. Yeah, excellent by Fly. Fly and Abed for sure.
Incredibly greedy from Fly to go back to the lane like that and feel that he can rely just naturally on the Ring of Health regen to heal him back up. It's always tempting as an AM once you have that to go back to the lane and show, but as you said, he just wasn't prepared and wasn't thinking about the moves that the Chen can enable.
Yeah, it just caught him off guard completely, because they had a lane ward, so he was like, oh, okay, I can see the tower, I can see if anybody's going to TP and make any move, but not going to be able to see that Divine Favor. Yeah, great heads up move by EG to bring themselves back in this one. 1K advantage, and during all of it, RTZ was just sitting up top farming, and he's nearly got the Maelstrom finished up.
It'll be interesting to see sort of how the farm pace goes for both the carries. RTZ with his Maelstrom, and obviously once Fly has his Battle Fury. You would have expected to be a little speedier and pace for the AM.
He blinks into the range creep.
He's got the Mana Void, but one more hit from Abed will do it. He's hunting. Fly has to pick up with the more Golem Stone. It's not enough. He needed a couple of them. The one will not kill Fly, so Fly will live. But I mean, you're seeing every time Abed is making these plays that, again, bringing Fly so close to his death. They've got to be prepared for this Storm's movements as Abed, he is being so right now across the map.
I don't think we're going to see Fly like blink aggressively onto range creeps again, because he had like a double range creep bottom, so you can see why he did it, but almost punished it.
EG collapsing in past the tower, the Crit, Mystic Flare combo's there, onto the Venom. Emo's going to lay down the Wukong Shimon. They lost the Skywrath, but they'll take the Venom, and they'll set up another successful duel for JT. Fly staying on top of Crit, but still got a little time left for the Scorch Stuff with the phase boots. Will have the movement speed to get away. They dive in, they get a kill, but they're losing 2 heroes for it, and again, as I say, JT continuing to be in position every time to make use of the duel.
He is going to be a real big threat. If you see this Legion, he has a Shadow Blade pretty much done. That can catch off pretty much anybody on this side of EG. That is insane how far he is. 4-0-2.
JT had a brilliant game last game, and this game as well. His off-lane performance, it's been amazing. Mid lane, ding down onto Emo. We've seen Fly being caught out a few times a little too far on his own. Now Emo's got a full foul to it. They've got to respect Abed, because Abed, every single time he sees an opportunity, he is immediately in and on top of them.
Yeah, I like how aggressive he's playing on this Storm Spirit too, just giving the space for RTZ to farm.
It's going to be harder though, as you said. This is such a quick shadow play.
How fast he has it.
This really could start to trip Abed up. These sort of plays where Abed is going in, committing a lot of his mana to get these guaranteed kills. JT's going to be ready with TPs, Shadow Blade movements to punish the Storm every time that happens. So Abed, he's now got to be prepared himself to be that little more cautious about how he goes aggressive.
And when you go for these type of builds, like a Shadow Blade instead of going for something like a Blink, this is like, I'm gonna scale. Like, I'm not just a dueling kind of guy over here. I'm not just a sitting back and pressing attack my allies. No, I am looking to be a scaling core in this game.
Catch RTZ off guard. They're not going to expect this early Shadow Blade. So JT's able to get in close off the back of the duel set up from the shadows. I mean, already Shadow Blade purchase paying off immediately. That sort of kill knocking RTZ off the map and giving Firefly the chance to have this farm, this space. And they can keep doing this. RTZ's got to be so careful. He's going to want to go to his jungle on his own. He's going to need backup now because JT is always going to be on the hunt.
I can only imagine how the comms are right there. It's probably like, holy shit, this guy's got a 12-minute Shadow Blade. Like, we got to be very careful. So now we're probably going to see more sentries get purchased up, and they're probably going to start blanketing some of those entrances into jungle with like an observer sentry to be able to watch the movements from the Legion Commander when he's off the map. And we do see Spirit Vessel tends to be the more natural build now on the Venomancer that we do see a lot of the times. Very good versus Monkey King though, as you prevent a lot of that healing that will be coming out from Jingu Mastery. But it's usually just the build anyway on Venomancers. It synergizes so well with your Poison Sting to reduce even more HP regen.
Oh, we'll see where the next player is to be. JT still over on the top side of the map. RTZ keeping very close towards the tier 2 in the shrine. He's got to be in position so that he knows that if he does get gone upon, there will be an opportunity for backup to TP in and help him.
They've given him sentries. You see that. Actually, Ramsey's being the one to buy the sentries this time around, it looks like. RTZ's actually placed a sentry right in the middle of his jungle so that he can farm safely.
JT. Ollie's going to tick down low as the second will fall. EG getting aggressive behind that tier 2 and continuing to play wild with Abed's hunger for action to happen.
I think Abed's a little lucky that maybe, well, he read the scenario, but he saw that the Kaka had low mana on the Skywrath. If Skywrath has more mana there, it's likely that he gets Mystic Flare on top of that. Even with the heals, he could go down, but a good read by EG, able to now pressure this tower and even bring Arteezy down. They know that they need to kick the pace up of the game.
I mean, they are, as it's now up to a 3K lead. They know very well themselves after that last game, if they can keep this up, this anti-mage is not going to have time to be in a position to do anything at all. And as you can see, just the pace that EG's cores are playing, they're all in the 6K net worth, over 1,000 ahead of the anti-mage. IG's going to need time, and EG, they know very well exactly how to bring it to them.
Yep. We're still going to see IG playing in the same type of manner, though. 3-4 heroes just looking around, hunting, trying to find these kills, while JT just sits off the map. Sit and farm. How close is he? He's still far away from the Battle Fury, isn't he, huh?
This game really slowed down after they, sort of killed him a couple of times and pushed him back out of the waves. He's had to resort to sort of full defensive fight. Jungle and
has been killed.
He's been found. EG's proud as they move around the map as 4, taking kills as they wish. IG have got to be so careful about being caught out alone.
Even like sometimes these like 5-position kills don't mean too much, but in this type of game, you're just giving Spirit Vessel charges to Venomancer.
And they're going to find JT hunting in the jungle. JT, he's trying to run, but Abed just brings him back. What the vortex he's going for? A vicious storm. JT with the heads up play. They're going to get crit as well by looks of the 6 charges. Pop Crit's running back towards the shrine. The shrine will heal him up. Crit will be fine. But JT, this man, he's a madman, and he knows that he gets away with it. Emo as well. He knows there's nothing to stop the TP. TP's out right in front of the 4 heroes of EG. But JT just continues to impress in moments where it looks like there's no way out of it.
And again, look, another one. They go for, he secures the last hit as well, of course. He knows he wants to be scaling core. This is insane. He is.
JT 5-0-4. He's been involved in every single kill that IG's got so far this game.
As an offlaner, which is always impressive.
And as a Legion, a hero that we've seen fall flat on her face in many games. But JT, he is making this hero look like the perfect pick this game for IG.
Yep, and now they're looking for another move. The duel, it's back up. He's Shadow-Bladed. Ramses, don't get greedy for those range creeps.
It's number 2.
Just on the cusp of it.
They haven't got the Mystic Flare at the moment, so they know there's not enough burst. JT's being smart. He doesn't want to get too crazy. Doesn't want to commit 20 seconds, and Mystic Flare will be up. He's going to wait for that and look for the guaranteed kill potential. They've even got that additional help now of Kaka having a full lot of Atos.
He's got it very early again. Unlike that last game where he's not like 5-0 and 4, but just on 18-minute mark, he's got the 3 points in silence too.
This was scanned out by EG, so they should be. It should be very unlikely that they get caught out by this move. IG will make the most of it, get some wards down. But EG knew that there was some action happening around this river area. Arteezy is still going to start to head down to that bottom lane. He's got to be careful.
We didn't mention, but it was pointed out by the observers, of course, that there was a Ring of Aquila picked up for Fly as he was pretty much picking up his Battle Fury. So very fortunate for the anti-mage this game getting that. So he's got a little bit of bonus stats in comparison to Arteezy's AM in the last one, who didn't really get all these stat items. He has the Ironwood Tree, he has the Ring of Aquila, so he is a little bit stronger and got to be able to farm that jungle a lot faster.
EG, they're trying for Roche, but it's going to be pretty slow. It's going to take him a little bit of time. We'll see if IG catches wind of this. It doesn't look like it. IG split up. They're still hunting for sort of that pickup down bottom.
It's very unexpected.
Yeah, you don't expect it from this sort of lineup that EG has. They can obviously do it safely with the summons, with the wards, slowing down and kiting Roshan up.
They're going to get away with it.
They are. IG, I know, you can't blame IG for not checking this out. They do not expect this to happen as EG get it with a 4-5 and secure Aegis for Abed. So now Abed, he can go back to his wild ways. He's got that second life to rely on.
Yeah, he can play a lot riskier. We see him immediately jump toward top to try to set up something to start some type of havoc. And
Emo's getting out. Crit slams him down. Emo is gone. EG, a Roshan, and a good kill.
The creeps, they just walked by the Beta for a second. A little bit of miss micro, but now he will be able to catch up to him anyway. Centaur stomp. Easy setup for Ali. Nice play by EG. Very nice. What are we talking about? Very unexpected for a lineup like this to just be able to sneak into a Roche pit or just do a Roche at all. IG getting caught completely off guard of that one.
IG just still continue to avoid the action. They know Fly really needs to have that item done on top of the Battle Fury before he can really turn up and get involved. He's pushing it onto the tier 2. Now they'll start to sweep back. Look for action. They don't really want to take the fight on EG's half of the map, especially when EG has that Aegis on Abed.
It's go time now though for Crit. We see the Blink, I believe, is coming out on the Courier. He's got the Centaur, and he also has Doom available, so he can look to go hunt around for that anti-mage now. Since he has the long zip that will be coming from the storm, and as mentioned, the Aegis will allow this storm, allow Abed to really a lot more
JT, and they found him, or have they yet? They do pop the dust now, and they've no messing around for Crit. He drops the Doom, make sure that there's no way of playing his way out of there. As Abed and Crit, they have been hunting this whole game and finding kill after kill, keeping this lead for EG.
I cannot believe how aggressive Abed's playing in this game. 7-2-3 on a Storm Spirit when you're playing versus like Skywrath silences and an anti-mage who can just like jump in and mana void you. So very heads up play from him how aggressive he really is playing. And look at this immediately. He TPs to top. He sees Emo. He wants the Monkey King.
Emo. Trying to go for the weak one. Abed's just got so much magical burst. He's just outplaying him. So he's 8-2-3. Bottom lane, Ramses will be gone, and Hand of God's popped, and Ramses in the tree. He's fine, and now IG, they're in trouble down here as well. Jump forward for Crit. They'll kill Kaka. As EG 40-9, 7k lead. At this game, it's slowly falling into similar territory that EG suffered with in game 2 with their own anti-mage pick.
Yep, they're able to just hunt all over the map because they know the AM is not liking to get involved too early. But now Fly, he is getting involved. They're looking for Fly. They've got the Centaur stun.
It's slowing him down, and Abed's going to be able to come in and help turn this one around potentially. Fly has to blink out, but Abed, he's diving in. He's so hungry for action. He's on to Fly. The nukes up, and the heals there. JT provides it, and Fly will be able to blink back to safety. But it's got to be so scary playing against this Abed Stormer. You could see no fear there, ready to dive up to the high ground to look for these big kills.
Yeah, relentless aggression all the way up to, he's up to 17 charges on the Bloodstone now too. So yeah, he can zip, and he's got this extra mana regen. He's really making Emo's life quite miserable on this Monkey King.
Emo needs some sort of protection. He's queuing up the BKB and the Aghanims, but his game has been heavily slowed down.
They know he's in this trees right here. They're actually just
Abed breaks the tree. Emo throws out a stuff, but there's no way out for him.
They're spam-baiting it the whole time.
Yeah, they just can't play around this Storm. Abed, the pace that he's played at, not something that you see every day from Storm players.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Anti-Mage, it really is struggling just as much as Arteezy was in game 2.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
EG's going to clean up this middle lane. It's 23 minutes in, and IG, they've lost the mid set of racks.
They're doing such a good job with this lineup. With their sustain, with their Chen, they're able to just get so much. I mean, it's really just Abed's doing so much work for this team. Like the rest of them, they're supporting him in kind.
Oh yeah, they are. But he's the leading force.
Running away with this. And again, he TP's top. He pushes it out. He's getting recalled back in from the Chen.
Crits dusted JT. Here comes Abed. Grabs in another. JT is dead and gone.
I mean,
you cannot hide from this storm.
Yeah, if this isn't some like hashtag Abed, I don't know what would, because he is just running away with this one. IG, they're gonna need a miracle right now. This anti-mage, he's got the man, he's got his level 18 finished up online, but the other cores have died so much in the last few moments. And look at this, he's all mana this time.
He's crazy.
Forcing a buyback.
That's the Aegis gone. So Aegis no longer there for Abed. He is going to get his mana and health right back up to full though. You know, he'll still certainly want to look for action. And we are still yet to see sort of the big fight where Fly turns up. And as mentioned early and in the draft, there are strengths that this anti-mage does have against the core heroes of EG. And we've got to see them in practice. Still fundamentally though as a hero, the anti-mage feeling very weak overall. We've got to see what Fly's able to produce this game off the back of all this farm that he's had. It's down bottom. Crits hunting. He's going to go for this. Fly's not going to be tempted to mess around with this at all. Gets out of there. No point of poking at this big old Doom, especially with Arteezy hiding inside him.
Yeah, he probably clicks on Doom. He's like, this Doom has no stat items, but has 2,600 HP. Wait a minute, something suspicious is going on here. So yeah, I mean, making an aggressive move there is unnecessary there for him to hit the top.
He's ready to go in. Kaka. There's the jump. Kaka would lay down the Mystic Flare.
It's a big one.
Does bring the Doom down low. Wukong's command of the Boundless Strike. And now the feature, they've got the grab. Fly turns up, looking to help out. It's turning towards Arteezy. Burning the mana. Can he kill Artor? He cannot. The sustain is too much. He's still trying for Arteezy, but Arteezy will live. He turns towards Fly. Will get it, but the stun control saves the Doom to drop down on the anti-mage. 4 dead on IG. Make that 5 as Abed cleans up. EG team wiping IG. It's 23 to 11, 30k in. That was the fight where Fly turned up, and it didn't look any good at all. This anti-mage pick that EG seemingly showed us last game how terrible it was. IG, they're also showing us how terrible it is this game.
And if anything, it's like, in this one, it's versus a Venomancer and a Storm.
And it's still
not working in this game. This hero is really starting to show its absolute weaknesses. Excellent buyback, though, from Crit there. He gets taken out of the fight. He buys back, finds the anti-mage, gets the Doom. Yep. And now from here, it really just looks like the game is over.
It's the second set of racks. IG letting this game slip away, their last chance to stay in the competition. As EG really back in full force here in this third game of the series, as we keep saying, Abed in particular. Obviously the supporting cast of EG have enabled him, been able to move him around the map, allowing him to go in aggressive. But that's the Abed, he's going to do it every single time. In he goes, onto Kaka, starts to play on the backlines, but they have lost the Lifestealer. Abed is going to retreat now that his carry is gone, and now maybe even more pain for EG as Fly jumps in. They'll use the stun, focus down Fly. He's got the heals, but Fly and Nemo will definitely continue to chase this. Jump forward and a slow, Fly will fall. Slowly, they're going to let JT have it. They know they don't need to rush to kill him. They secure JT more dual damage, and they do hold things off as they had to back off. Arteezy, he just dies immediately, and Abed, he has to get out of there. He knows that without his Lifestealer, in a 5v5, it gets a lot harder, and they cannot afford to push when Arteezy falls first.
Yeah, he needs to be a little bit more careful. He was just playing very confidently forward. It just got silenced. They have no way to actually protect him. They have heals, but they don't have anything like a force staff to actually pull him outside of that Skywrath ulti. He just gets completely destroyed by it. There's a pipe to negate some of that damage, but it was just a bit too much. Okay, so still some more small breathing room for IG, but they need a couple more of those in order to be back in this one. But the BKB, we saw it now from Emo. some more strength. JT also now has been kind of forced to go for a Blink Dagger, even though he wanted to go for a BKB to be a scaler. I think he's starting to realize that he can't actually with the way that the game has gone. He has to be a sit back and press the attack the anti-mage so that he can get saved in particular. Paladin Sword does drop.
And how about the smoke again? EG. IG, will they get caught out by this? The 2 scans off the mark.
All EG really needs to do is just get down toward that bottom one. If they can just get this Doom on this AM, he will go down. He does not have buyback at the moment. He committed for the Basher. So they are able to actually find this AM. But they're going to play it a little bit more patient. Roche is back up.
Yeah, they could look to just fall back and take the CG. They'll feel pretty good at doing so. The team fight obviously around this area, not too scary really from IG's lineup.
They have a Arcane Rune on the Storm Spirit, level 20 on Abed with an Arcane, with an Orchid, 25 Bloodstone charges.
As this scouted out, they'll kill the courier for it. IG know this is going on. They are going to try and contest it. They're coming over off the back of the smoke. It's falling pretty fast though, EG. Taking this Roche. It's down to half. Can IG make some sort of big play around this? They're leading around from the back, and in fact, EG's starting to back away from the Roche a little bit, getting ready for the jump that IG's going to want to make.
They're going for a huge wraparound here, getting the high ground. This might catch EG off guard.
Let's see what sort of focus they can go for. They're going to look to jump in straight away onto Abed. They're trying to blow up, so they have the damage to do so. Abed falling on.
Yes,
got him. Abed's dead for 75. Inside the pit, EG are able to finish Roche, get the Aegis on Arteezy, but they've lost Doom. Abed buying back, looking to commit the Wukong's command, still out there focusing the Monkey King. It's a deny, but he's still dead. 4 dead on IG. It's all left to Fly. He's the only one left alive as EG still get Roche. They still get the Aegis, and they still get that huge team fight win. Losing Abed did not matter. He was ready to buy back, get over to the shrine, push their advantage, and now EG with this Aegis, they can look to go high ground once more.
Did Ramses cast the Lincolns on the Storm there in the slightest second and block? I think he blocked the Mana Void with the Lincolns. I saw it block, but I didn't know if he cast it on somebody, if it was on himself. I think he cast it on the Storm. Not sure if Abed would have popped, but either way, such a quick little play. And nice wraparound there by IG, but with the buyback from Abed, it was enough for EG to be able to take that fight and immediately to bottom.
And they're ready to look for Megas. Abed, big zip. And here's Glimmer Cape, will get him away. Kaka's going to be fine. And they will have Monkey King back in the game in a few seconds, so still able to hold on to that final set of racks, IG. And for EG, obviously Abed has to be a little careful. Buyback being used in that last fight.
Yeah, and he didn't get this Aegis, which he would have liked to, but at least he has the cheese in his hands to be able to protect himself. As the only way he probably won't get that cheese off is either grabbed by like a Fiend's Grip or a Duel. He should otherwise get that cheese off in most of the scenarios. Still in a pretty comfortable spot. 16,000 gold lead, 10,000 experience lead. 96% as well on that Dota Plus win rate.
And that 4%, again, it all rests on the AM. Can Fly do what seemingly seems to be the impossible, especially for this hero in this day and age? He's got the farm, but he really is the only one. He's the only core that has any sort of power now at this stage to get the kills onto these massive heroes that EG have now grown to. This Abed Storm Spirit, he's the hugest problem. They've somehow got to get the jump, the lockdown, and the explosion with that Mana Void to have a chance of winning any of these fights.
And make sure he's not getting like Lincoln's up so it gets the Mana Void blocked. Because we're going to see Ramses definitely trying to throw that out to protect his high mana core. So here we go. Lanes will push it out for EG, the top and that mid, and they're ready to go for this last set.
Let's see what they're going to do. Silence onto Arteezy. Bursting him down low, looking to pop the Aegis. They won't quite be able to do so. Arteezy's Aegis will live to see another day.
He'll go inside of a creep. 1,548 HP range creep. Look at it go.
Heals up, back to full, a quick blink away from Fly, separating himself from the Life Stealers. Arteezy focuses the rags. Abed, going to clean the trees, and he's found the Monkey King. The heal will be there, but the Doom is down. Crit with the 4-up, he's on to Emo. Emo is dead. They pulled it over the control for Crit. It's too much, as they've got to buy back here. 4-4 side G. Fly will blink away. Arteezy out of mana. Emo revs up the Wukongs. They're controlling Arteezy. Can they kill him the watch with the Fiend's Grip? They can. They burst the Aegis. Can they take him down a second time? They're trying to stand on top of him. Fly, their turn. Twitch back in with the stun. Abed's going for the back line. They're lost Nemo. It's a dieback on the Monkey King. Bane in trouble as Armin forces him back to the fountain. Another kill for him. 3 dead on IG. They do not have buybacks available as EG. They take the Mega Creeps. They're moving on to the tier 4s. And with only the anti-Mega left to defend, there is no hope for IG. Fly will fall. He has a buyback, but it doesn't matter. GG is called. And EG take game 3 and take the series 2-1. EG is going to be moving on 1 step more here in the lower bracket. And IG, they're going home.
Abed just put this team on his shoulders for sure. That was an unbelievable performance by him on the Storm Spirit. Ramses as well did have an excellent game. 7-2 and 18 ending up on this Veno. Love the itemization with that vessel, with the pipe, even going for the Lincolns afterwards. They grouped up, they brought it to IG, they caught